This is Dick's Sporting Goods Kickoff Week.
A hot, humid night in Arlington, Texas. The first college game in the palace that is the new Cowboy Stadium. And the faithful have been outside for hours in the crimson and cream of Oklahoma or the dark blue and white of Brigham Young. For the Sooners, their Heisman Trophy winning quarterback leads his team out for the first time in 09. Inside, it's a top 20 battle set in prime time. For number 20 BYU and number 3 OU, there's no holding back. Time to lay it on the line. Their moment is now.
It's time to blow it up, time to lock and load, time to take the field, time to start the show. This is our moment. This is our time. And we ain't holding back. We're laying it all on the line. This is our destiny. It's our night to shine. This is our moment. This is our time.
Welcome to the opener of ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton Hotels. We're in Arlington, Texas for the inaugural Dick's Sporting Goods Cowboys Classic, and our matchup as the Sooners start to take the field, the number 3 team in the country against the 20th ranked Cougars of BYU. Welcome to Arlington, everybody. You want electricity? We've got it already. I'm Brad Nessler with Todd Blackledge. When last we saw Oklahoma, they were the Big 12 champs, but they came up short in the BCS title game to the Florida Gators. And partner, a lot of people think that if they make the trip back through this spectacular stadium the first week of December, they can maybe get back to that game.
Well, I was down the field watching them run out of the tunnel, and I'll tell you what, you're not going to see a better looking football team anywhere this season. Got a lot of pieces to the puzzle, none more important than their junior quarterback, Sam Bradford, who passed on the NFL, decided to come back and lead the Sooners. All he did last year was direct this offense to a mind-boggling 99 touchdowns. He's very accurate as a passer, much more athletic than people will give him credit for, and everybody around him now thinks he's even better as a quarterback this year. I'm kind of excited to see what does he do for an encore in 2009.
Well, it's not like BYU has got a slouch at quarterback in Max Hall. They got a veteran signal caller in their own right.
Yeah, he's a senior. This is his 3rd year as starter. The key for BYU is quite simple. They must protect Max Hall. If they give him some time, he is very efficient with the football, and he'll get something done.
Well, for the 3rd time in this opening weekend of 4 games, we've got a matchup of top 20s. If you can't play in the shadow of Y Mountain, you bring the Y flag with you. The Cougars and the Sooners coming up from Texas in a minute. Welcome back to the Dick's Sporting Goods Cowboys Classic, presented by Hampton Hotels. On this opening weekend, as a show of sportsmanship, there's the mass handshake between the Cougars and the Sooners. And Heather Cox, who joins us, asked Bob Stoops about that earlier this week. He said, you know, there's people out there that have a better look at the big picture than I do. I think referring to the fact that maybe a lot of coaches wouldn't do that if they had their druthers. But on this opening weekend, a good show of sportsmanship between the Big 12 and the Mountain West. Speaking of Heather Cox, she joined us on the sideline. Heather.
And Brad, the big news out of Oklahoma is their All-American tight end Jermaine Gresham out indefinitely with torn cartilage in that right knee. Doctors will reevaluate on Monday whether or not he needs surgery. But BYU hasn't escaped the injury bug. Their O-line is decimated. Only 7 available tonight, including Matt Reynolds, who's recovering from surgery on a broken left hand. He will play, but will do so wearing a molded rubber cast. And running back Harvey Unga is hoping his bad luck improves today. He was out in June with the swine flu, lost 20 pounds while fighting that virus, only to return to the field and injure his hamstring last week. He told me he's untested, unproven, and guys, he looked very tender during warm-ups.
Yeah, they really need him, and he's a good one with back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons for Bronco Mendenhall in his 5th year. This is a team that's won 32 games in the last 3 seasons. So they're a very tough opponent for Oklahoma to open up with. Bob Stoops in his 11th year. He's 9-1 in season openers. He's won 109 games. The Big 12 Coach of the Year, and he's got a national championship to his credit. BYU won the toss. They deferred. So that means that Mitch Payne will start to tee it up for the Cougars of BYU. Dominique Franks and Ryan Broyles will stand on the other end deep for the Sooners. This place is packed. We're going to guess 80,000. We'll know a little bit later. And here we go. The kick will go to the 10 to Broyles. And he got up to about the 25, and that's where Sam Bradford and Oklahoma will go to work. Here's the man. New haircut. Kind of got the Todd Blackledge haircut, which I like.
He got bigger guns, though. That was one of the things he said he wanted to do when he came back, was to get a little bigger, a little stronger, and it was very evident when I was with him in Norman on Thursday. He is bigger and stronger, and the ball comes out of his hands a little quicker than it did a year ago. So anxious to see this year's version of Sam.
Sam in the gun on first down from the 25. And immediately we have whistles. That's not the way you want to start. It flags on the field. And it's a false start against the Sooners.
5 yards. First down.
Brian Simmons, the left guard. As Bob Stoops looks up there, a lot of people talking about the front wall in front of Sam Bradford and the fact that they lost 4 very good football players to graduation. They've had to fill some holes, no doubt about it. So now they'll start first and 15 with Bradford under center. Chris Brown on a counter, and he got about 3, and that's it. Jordan Pendleton made the stop as you check the Oklahoma starting offense on the top of your screen.
You know, so much is made about the offensive line of Oklahoma, but it's not like they're young, just out of high school kids. They're new starters, but there's 2 fourth-year guys, 2 fifth-year guys.
Here they are on the quick snap. Bradford's first throw is complete, and he's got it down to the 30. Adron Tennell, who they expect big things from, and he's a big target, 6'4", 200-pounder.
We're going to see both of these teams trying to play up-tempo. Very few times will they get in a huddle. Doesn't mean that they go in a quick count every time, but they always have that option of going quick. And here you see Sam Bradford got him lined up quickly and then look to the sideline for a change of play. But they always have that threat of going right away on your defense.
Oklahoma was great on third down last year, 51%. They've got their first one of 09, 3rd and 5.
Right tackle move. That's 2 false start penalties in the first series for Oklahoma.
That's Corey Brandon.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, number 70.
They got one from the left guard and one from the right tackle.
The only returning starter is Trent Williams, who's left tackle. Now, he was the right tackle a year ago. They moved him to the left side, and he is an outstanding player. Again, these other guys are not young guys, but they are new to starting experience.
Well, if you want to pick up your first 3rd down of the year, you might as well earn it on a 3rd and 10. And Bradford comes up to talk to his lineman and not drops back in the gun. Here comes a blitz. Bradford hangs in, and we got another penalty.
False start on the offense, number 70. Penalty, 3rd down.
It's loud in here, but it shouldn't be that bad.
No, that's nerves, not noise. That's all that is.
Bradford's got plenty of time. Deep out, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Tennell. And so Oklahoma is going to have to give it up. Bronco Mendenhall's going, well, that's a good way for my defense to start, but he was helped by the penalty situation on the Sooners.
I'm sure he'll take it any way he can get it, though, tonight. I mean, if you can slow this team down and make this guy actually get his uniform a little sweaty, then you've done something on defense.
Redshirted last year, so this is his first kick since high school officially, when he averaged a little over 38 a punt. McKay Jacobson is back deep for the Cougars. End over end. And it's going to be great field position for BYU to start. They're going to be near their own 44-yard line. 37-yard punt. Max Hall says, I'll take this, the 43 or the 44.
You know, the thing that I want to watch with Max Hall tonight, I mean, he's had great numbers in his career, but last year he did not play well in their biggest games.
Right.
And I think he tried to make too many plays, tried to press a little bit too much. He needs to relax and trust his teammates and let the game unfold for him a little bit. I'm anxious to see his demeanor and his presence here to start the football game.
Manasseh Tonga is behind him, so that means Harvey Unga is not going to start the ball game, as Heather said, with that gimpy hamstring. First down, and it is Tonga. He's hit in the backfield. Jeremy Beal with nice penetration, and it's a loss of 1. BYU offensively, you look at the top of the screen, and you talk about replacing offensive linemen. They got the same problem OU had.
Well, their problem is worse because they lost guys to injury. I mean, they lost guys to graduation, and then the guys that they were replacing them with, they lost a couple of them to injury. So they're down to their third group instead of their second group in some cases.
DeLuigi is in there now as a tailback in the eye. Hall, play action, throw is complete out to about the 48-yard line to McKay Jacobson. And he's going to be the guy that he'll look for now, because remember, they got to replace an All-American in Austin Collie. And this guy hadn't played in 2 years. He's been on a mission.
He was in Japan, but very much like Austin Collie. Speedy, not as big as Collie, but very fast, very precise route runner, and came back off his mission in tremendous shape, ready to step right in and play.
He's a local product, too, from right here at South Lake High School in Texas. South Lake Carroll. Third down at 4. BYU was 56%, second best in the country last year in these third down conversions, and they've got one here. Complete to O'Neal Chambers. And the Cougars are in OU territory. On a 3rd and 4, they got 12.
The key for BYU's third down success is getting in 3rd and short or 3rd and medium, and that's what they had. Now watch this front 5. They do a nice job of protecting Max Hall. He doesn't hold on to the ball very long, but they did a nice job of keeping him comfortable, and the nice underneath throw for the first down.
As you see, the Cougars up to the line in a hurry, too, at the 39-yard line. Brian Correa joins the backfield for the first time behind Hall. He's going to get the call, and he got a big hole off the left side. Nice blocking on that left side by BYU to move the pile, and they got 6 yards. There's Harvey Unga. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons.
And Heather was right on that, because he did not look right in pregame warm-ups. He was trying to get it loose, trying to stretch, did not look comfortable, and this is a good move by Bronco Mendenhall and the offensive staff to not put a guy out there that you don't think is ready to go 100%, because you better have everybody on the field tonight going 100%.
Now it's Hall in the shotgun on 2nd and 5, just inside the Sooner 35. Hall, a quick throw outside and a little bit behind his intended receiver, Dennis Pitta, the tight end, who's one of the best in the country.
Pitta fell down also. He was a little slip coming out of his break. As you mentioned, the ball was a little bit behind, but I think the slip kind of affected the play as well. Even with
Jermaine Gresham out of the lineup, arguably the best tight end in the country for Oklahoma, you got number 32, who maybe is the best tight end in the country, in Dennis Pitta, who caught over 1,000 yards with the passes last year. There's what I was talking about, their third down conversion, and that's remarkable. And Todd said you got to keep it in this 3rd and 4 or shorter. That helps the cause. 2 tight ends in there right now. Correa. Bulls forward. Wow.
You know why 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 3 is so important, Brad, is because it gives you the option of still having a run threat. When you get a little bit more than that, the run is not even a threat. They go 2 tight ends. Oklahoma is still thinking pass, and they run right at the heart of this Oklahoma defense for a first down.
BYU only averaged about 134 yards on the ground per game last year, because for the most part they are a throwing team, but right now they're doing it both through the air and on the ground. And they've got the OU defense a little bit on its heels. First down, Cougars at the Sooner 28-yard line. This time nothing doing. Oklahoma saw that one coming. Ryan Reynolds close the door in a hurry. That fine linebacking core, as you take a look at some of the defenders in the starting lineup for Oklahoma. A lot of people think potentially this could be as good as Bob Stoops has had.
Well, particularly up front. I mean, their defensive front is outstanding, led by Gerald McCoy, number 93. I mean, he is one of the most disruptive defensive linemen that I've seen in a long time. And they've got depth. I mean, they've got backups that will play in this game that could be starters on many other teams in college football. So they've got depth up front and talent everywhere else.
Hall's got Pitta now on the slot right. His other tight end to the left. And he's going to throw a screen to DeLuigi. And he got it down inside the 25. Pickup of 5. Travis Lewis made the stop defensively for Oklahoma.
The play was pretty well read by Oklahoma, particularly Austin English, who was rushing off the edge. Anytime those defensive linemen feel a free path to the quarterback, a light goes off for them, and they knew right away to turn and run for the screen and stopped it from a first down.
Now their third down's a little bit longer. Third down at 6. Already in field goal range, but they want to keep the drive alive. 9th play of the drive, in fact. And Hall in the shotgun. Looking right all the way. Looking too long. Waiting too long. And he throws it away. And now we got a little bit of an altercation going on down at the 25-yard line. When I say Tonga's got his headgear off.
Well, Max Hall was looking to get rid of this ball quicker on 3rd and 6. It wasn't there. There was a pressure, a little game on the inside, and Oklahoma's coaches and players were calling for an intentional grounding. He did not get out of the tackle box, and I'm not sure the ball even crossed the line of scrimmage.
I think it was a couple yards short.
Yeah, and you got to do both. You got to get outside the tackle box, and you got to throw the ball past the line of scrimmage or have a receiver in the area. I don't think any of those three were in effect.
Mitch Payne will try a 41-yard field goal. And I think they whistled it dead before he got the kick away.
Yeah.
And now it's going to have to be from 46, which is his career long. So a wasted opportunity there by wasting too much time. And now Payne steps back to the spot where he's hit his longest field goal. He was 10 out of 14 last year.
You know, he made 7 in a row to finish the regular season, and then in the bowl game against Arizona, he missed 3. So, kickers psychologically a very important chance for him to get off to a good start here.
Let's see if he can hit from 46. This one is no good. So that penalty cost him 3 points. The Oklahoma fans are happy. BYU had a good thing going, and they came up empty. No score in Arlington. Welcome back to the Dick's Sporting Goods Cowboys Classic, presented by Hampton Hotels. No score between BYU and Oklahoma. 8:34 remaining. Joe Castiglione, the athletic director at Oklahoma, accepting a check in honor of Sam Bradford, who won the Davey O'Brien Award to go to that foundation. Todd, you won that back in the day.
Yeah, sure did.
The first winner was Jim McMahon the year before you, when he finished 3rd in the Heisman balloting. DeMarco Murray. This is what Oklahoma has, despite the fact that flags fly again. There's been some chippiness out there, and this one's coming way away from the football, the penalty marker. I think the officials want to nip it right now in the bud a little bit.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the offense, number 76. 15 yards, second down.
Jarvis Jones, the right guard.
Well, every penalty on Oklahoma so far in the game has been against these new offensive linemen. A couple of false starts, and Jarvis Jones, the transfer from LSU, a little extra effort at the end of the play on that one. So really the biggest thing for them right now, they just have to settle down. They have to settle down and play football, concentrate on the snap count, and just execute their offense.
This is their 4th penalty. And now they find themselves in long yardage again. 2nd down and 16. Bradford taking his time. Matt Clapp's in there now as a fullback, shaded to the left as they toss it to DeMarco Murray on virtually the same play, and this time he didn't get nearly as much as Brett Denny knocked him off his feet. We check in for the first time tonight with Reese Davis. Reese.
All right, Brad, since you guys are keeping an eye on Oklahoma, I figured I'd better let everybody know what Texas is up to. Opening against Louisiana Monroe after a turnover. Unreal McGee trying to get the corner for the Longhorns, stopped just short of the goal line, but Cody Johnson would not be stopped. He would score shortly thereafter, and Texas has jumped on top of UL Monroe 7-0, still very early in the first.
So far, it's been a pretty good day for the Big 12. Not so great for some of the other conferences around the country. Bradford deep in the middle and in and out of the hands of Tennell.
And we talked about third down. Both these teams last year over 50%. The difference so far in this game, both of Oklahoma's third down plays have been 3rd and 15. BYU, on the other hand, 3rd and very manageable yardage situations. I mean, that's hard.
Todd, how many times do you think we said 3 and out back-to-back times for Oklahoma last year? Not very often. Tressway, his first punt was 37 yards. That's McKay Jacobson. He was an excellent return man a couple of years ago when he played. First time he touched one, he took it for a touchdown. This is a better kick, but it should be returnable. Oh, he bottled it. And Oklahoma's got it. Brandon Caleb on top of the football.
Not a very good decision by Jacobson. He had to run a long way to field that kick. He wasn't underneath it in time. And again, you mentioned he's from South Lake Carroll. He's got a lot of family and friends here. He wants to make a play. Probably should have just gotten away from that one.
And Oklahoma's never been afraid to use some of their frontline players on special teams, and Caleb's one of them. And he covered it down at the 35-yard line. And Bradford brings the Sooners offense back out with a golden opportunity now here midway through the first quarter. And you wonder if they might not try some sudden impact here after the turnover on the punt return. Nope, they'll keep it on the ground. And it's Chris Brown. And Brown, nice carry for about 5.
I like the idea of running the football some now because of those offensive linemen. Let them get settled. Let them get hit in the face a couple times and get that energy out of them so they're ready to just play.
Chris Brown and DeMarco Murray both over 1,000 yards last year. Here's Brown again, and he's got a first down. Still going down to the 20-yard line.
Last year, one of the things that Oklahoma did better than anybody in college football was the turnover margin. They were plus 23. They only turned it over themselves 11 times. And normally when they got a turnover from their defense, they converted it into points and quick touchdowns. And right now they are charging.
Usually took them about 1 minute and 36 seconds to get it in the end zone after a turnover. They've got a first down, their first of the game, right at the 20-yard line of BYU. This time, Jeremy Calhoun, a redshirt freshman out of Ben Wheeler, Texas, gets the carry.
Kevin Wilson, the offensive coordinator, again, I think doing a smart thing right here, getting those offensive linemen into the ball game, coming off the ball hard, putting their nose on people.
This time they do snap it quickly. Here's flags down in the vicinity of a holding. Would be the 5th penalty against Oklahoma if that's the case.
Holding on the offense, number 34. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Scott Novak's our referee. They are Big 12 officials here in Arlington with us tonight.
Well, Matt Clapp coming right at you. The fullback, number 34, is the guy guilty of the hold. There it was, a little takedown.
Yeah. And Matt's an all Big 12 fullback. He's got all Big 12 hair, too.
That's like WWF hair.
That
too,
is.
You know? I mean, that's all a lot of things. This kind of hair.
They back it up to second down and 17.
Bradford's out wide now. This is kind of the Wildcat formation for Oklahoma.
They're going to hand it off on the inside to Ryan Broyles, trying to turn the corner and hurdles one man. He gets back close to the original line of scrimmage. Andrew Rich, one of the guys that helped on the tackle. For the second time tonight, we've seen a helmet come off. That might be Bauman, the captain of the defense, the linebacker. It's hard to see his number right now, but I think it's Matt Bauman. We've got a timeout. 5:28 remaining in the first quarter. Oklahoma driving, but they got a long third down when we come back.
Dick's Sporting Goods Cowboys Classic is presented by Hampton Hotels. At Hampton, we love having you here. And in part by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's.
Our season starting here in Arlington. Brad Nessler, Todd Blackledge, Heather Cox. BYU and Oklahoma no score. Matt Bauman, the leading tackler, Todd, for the Cougars a year ago, banged up on this last play.
Yeah, he's right in this spot here, and Matt Clapp, number 34, who got the holding penalty, is going to have a great block on Bauman. He just keeps driving, and I think where the injury occurred was when Clapp actually pushed him into one of his own men, and that's where the injury happened for Bauman.
Here's another third down and double-digit situation for Oklahoma. 3rd and 12. Blitz. Bradford completes. Caleb got a first down. 1st and goal, Sooners.
A nice throw by Bradford, but a little slip in the secondary by BYU helped the cause there for Oklahoma. They had 2 guys out there that were in position to make a tackle short, but they fell down.
Play action, 1st and goal. Bradford to the end zone. Touchdown. Ryan Broyles. The first of the year for the Heisman Trophy winner and the 87th in his 3-year career.
He is so accurate, and he's accurate whether he throws from the pocket or whether he moves out to the perimeter. He has great balance and footwork, which enables him to throw the ball with such accuracy.
Jimmy Stevens with a point after, and Oklahoma has struck first.
Sam Bradford, whether he's in the pocket or whether he's rolling, he's right on the money as he hits Broyles for the first touchdown of this ball game.
Dick's Sporting Goods Cowboys Classic presented by Hampton Hotels. There's the battery. Bradford to Broyles, 8-yard touchdown to cap a 35-yard drive in just 6 plays. Remember, that followed the fumbled punt, and it took Oklahoma 2 minutes and 20 seconds, a little longer than they normally took last year on the average to turn a turnover into points.
Well, that's because they ran the ball first.
Yeah, that's right.
They tried to get that running game going, so it took a little bit more time.
Matthew Moreland to kick. That's McKay Jacobson with O'Neal Chambers back deep. It'll be Jacobson who dropped that punt from the 5. Let's see if he can make up for it. No, he got sliced down at the 20-yard line as we go out to Reese Davis. Reese.
Fred, Sports Center right now. Today at the U.S. Open, Marina Sharapova goes down at the hands of American teenager Melanie Udon, who wins it in 3 sets, 7-5 in the 3rd. And we nearly had a gargantuan upset in college football. Navy went into the shoe. This an attempt at a 2-point conversion that would have tied it late in the 4th. Picked off by Brian Roll, and the other way, Buckeyes win it by 4. Sports Center on ESPN News at 11 Eastern tonight. Stay current with ESPN News all the time.
All right, Reese. Melanie Udon, pride and joy of Marietta, Georgia. You go, girl. First down at the 20. Possible blitz coming off the corner. Brian Jackson will bring it. And Hall over the middle. First down and a bunch more. Out a 16-yard pass play to Brian Correa.
You know, that shows you the experience of Max Hall. He's looking at the defense. He sees the corner blitz, so he directs his fullback to pick it up. He knows he has protection. He doesn't have to panic, and he stays right in there to make the throw to Correa.
Here they go. Quick pass now out to DeLuigi. And DeLuigi's got something working. Pickup of about 9 more. Keenan Clayton knocked him out of bounds on the far side.
I think right now, if you're BYU, the thing you're really feeling good about is that this patchwork offensive line is holding up okay against what arguably is the best defensive front in college football, or one of them. And right now, they're doing a pretty good job, both in the run and the pass game, protecting Max Hall.
Here's a great spot, second down and just a yard. And they're going to throw out of it. Hall pumps one through, almost had it picked off by Keenan Clayton. He got some pressure from the inside that time, and that's why that pass was off the mark.
Well, they were trying to go deep to Jacobson, but Dominique Franks was not fooled by the pump fake, and that forced Max Hall to pull the ball down and go to a secondary receiver. Kind of lucky he didn't get that one picked off because he didn't have much on the football.
Third down and 1 at the 44. And it looks like the left side of the BYU line jumped just a little bit. It might have been the tight end over there, Andrew George, who's a good one in his own right. Boy, that messes up a third and short.
It sure does. 3rd and 1. They've been running the ball right at this Oklahoma defense with some success. And now you're 3rd and 6. A little different scenario now.
Two penalties now against BYU. That one very costly, though. Puts him in a 3rd and 6.
Dennis Pitta is right here in the slot. They haven't got the ball to him yet.
They tried once, but they threw it behind him a little bit as he was falling down. Whoops. They might get that 5 right back. Jeremy Beal got a great head start from left end.
Encroachment on the defense, number 44, elevated the quarterback.
Another one of the Texas natives on Bob Stoops' Oklahoma team out of Carrollton, Texas. Jeremy Beal, he's an all Big 12 guy. Just got a little bit too anxious.
You mentioned that Texas connection. I looked through their roster. They have 48 guys on the roster that they gave us this week. 48 native Texans. So a game down here is huge for them.
I was going to say, you don't think this is a recruiting tool in this facility? Wow. Now on short yardage, they get it easily. Correa for 7 up the middle.
You know, when we talked to Robert and he said, I can't give away our offense to you too much, but what I am going to tell you is we are going to attack and we are going to try to go at a certain part of the defense. And what I see them doing right now, running-wise, is running right up inside. They're just squeezing in there and not letting this defensive line run and readjust the line of scrimmage. They're pushing them back a little bit.
Cougars now have inched their way back in Sooner territory. Max Hall, plenty of time down the middle and incomplete. Intended for Spencer Hafoka. And let's check in with Heather.
Well, Brad, BYU already down 2 players on offense. The staff just decided running back Harvey Ungo will not play at all today, just not strong enough in warm-ups. And then on defense, Matt Bauman, the middle linebacker, was hit on the head. They were very patient and careful with him on the field. They took him off the field, did strength and nerve tests, standard concussion monitoring. They don't think he'll return, guys, and the surest sign, they took his helmet away and put it back in the equipment box.
That's probably what they'd have to do for Matt, is keep it away from him, because he's that kind of competitor. But you can tell those eyes don't look quite right on the sideline. Flags down. No gain on the play for Manasseh Tonga, and it's going to be a holding call against BYU.
I mentioned Gerald McCoy.
On the offense, number 64, 10-yard penalty, second down.
He is such a disruptive football player in the pass game and in the run game, and that's the guy who blew this play up. Not only did he disrupt the play, here he is right here. Now watch, he's going to just get penetration and not only disrupt the running play, he's going to draw the penalty. He beats through 2 blocks, and then he gets the holding call. He doesn't make the tackle, but he blows the play up because of his anticipation of the snap count and his quick first step.
BYU continues to shuffle in different backs. They got Anthony Hiamuli, a freshman, in there now with Brian Correa behind Max Hall. 2nd and 20. Hall trying to buy himself some time. Throws, and it's intercepted by Ryan Reynolds. Reynolds going the other way. Flags are down. Reynolds down at the 30-yard line. Let's wait and see about the penalty. It would be the 2nd BYU turnover, and BYU's heading to the sideline. So Ryan Reynolds
Offense, number 64, penalties declined.
is going to pick up the interception. The captain of the defense, the senior out of Las Vegas.
You know, Ryan Reynolds has Been through knee problems. There he is right in the middle of the defense. He's going to drop into coverage and read the quarterback's eyes. Once he sees Max Hall leave the pocket, he starts reading the quarterback's eyes, trying to guess where he might go with the football, gets right underneath the intended receiver, and makes the interception.
Todd, that's the second turnover now for BYU in their own territory. Here's DeMarco Murray taking the direct snap and going down to the 22-yard line, a pickup of about 8. So for the second time, we've seen OU go without Sam Bradford taking the snap, and this time it's number 7, DeMarco Murray.
Well, everybody kind of has a little package like this in their offense, just another way to create some running space, another way to trick the defense a little bit.
Now it's the stretch play to Murray, and he's got the first down all the way down to the 16-yard line. Pickup of 6 more, and much like they did after the last turnover, they go to the ground game, get it down in the red zone, and then go to work.
Yep. Well, and then if you make BYU commit extra defenders to stop the run, then you make them play single coverage on the outside, and they can't match up with Oklahoma.
And here's Murray again. Flags, but the ball is out. BYU says they have it. If the holding call is against Oklahoma, it could be Cougar football, and the officials now say it is.
Well, Max Hall got a reprieve there. The interception looked like it was going to cost them again.
Holding on the offense, number 70. Penalties decline. First down.
Andrew Rich made the hit, and Sean Doman the recovery.
Oklahoma running downhill. DeMarco Murray doing a great job. Rich just put his head right on the football. It wasn't that DeMarco Murray was loose with the ball. Just a perfect placement of the face mask by Andrew Rich. 2
fumbles all of last year for Oklahoma. As Todd said earlier, plus 23. That's just unheard of.
Yeah.
The good news is BYU's got the ball back. The bad news is they're at their own 5-yard line. And their tailback's in his own end zone. Sooner crowds trying to make it difficult for Max Hall. Brian Correa has done a nice job carrying the football. Got about 3. Frank Alexander made the stop. ESPN College Football Monday presented by Cars.com. We'll kick off a college football doubleheader on Labor Day at 4 o'clock. Big East battle. Cincinnati takes on Rutgers. And at 8 o'clock, in-state rivals Miami and Florida State go head-to-head in Tallahassee. College football presented by Cars.com and college football primetime on ESPN Monday. Hope you join Mr. Blackledge and yours truly and Aaron Andrews from Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee. That's why they call it Labor Day, partner. You do 2 games in 3 days.
That's right. And 3 games in how many days?
6 and a half. Here's Correa again. And not much there. Might have eked out a half-yard. Ryan Reynolds, who had that interception earlier, one of the first to meet him. Oklahoma defensively, they started so strong last year. Then they had a stretch of about 3 games in the middle, and a lot had to do with the people they were playing in the Big 12 offenses, where they really fell off. And then they started clamping down in the Big 12 championship against Missouri, and even against Florida they did a nice job.
It had to do with who they played, and it had to do with the loss of Ryan Reynolds. When he got hurt in the Texas game, their defense went into a little bit of a funk for the rest of that game and the next 3 games.
Ryan tore his ACL in week 6 against the Longhorns last year. Final minute of the first quarter. Oklahoma by 7 and Hall in trouble. And down he goes, and guess who? That ACL looks pretty good right now.
Third down and pretty long, backed up in your own territory. Max Hall looked like he didn't want to take a chance down the field. I don't think this was a called quarterback draw. I think he just decided to try to run it out of there, and Reynolds right there to wrap him up.
So Reynolds has had a great first quarter. And now punting out of his own end zone is Riley Stevenson, a freshman. Ryan Broyles back deep. And I think they're just going to wait and kick it from the other end.
Which way's the wind blowing?
Depends on if they open a window down there. Otherwise, we have none. And that should just about do it. End of the first quarter. Third-ranked Oklahoma leading BYU by a touchdown. What do you say, Kenny?
Time to blow it up, time to lock and load, time to take the field,
Dick's Sporting Goods Cowboys Classic presented by Hampton Hotels. Starting the second quarter, 7-0. How'd you like to be a punter in your first college punt from 8 yards deep in your own end zone? That's Riley Stevenson right now. And Oklahoma's got 10 guys up. He got a nice punt away. Ryan Broyles has to backpedal to the 44.
They pinned him on the sideline.
He did a
Not
nice
only
job.
the distance, but perfect placement of that punt.
And he's excited. You said he hit the video board in warm-ups before the ball game. That one he did perfectly. Let's check in with Reese Davis. Reese, what do you got?
Brad, I just want to get you up to date on everything going on the FanWave Networks, the NASCAR Nationwide Series event in Atlanta right now. Kyle Busch leading 39 laps in. That's on ESPN2. Louisiana Tech just converted a 4th and inches against Auburn as you look at Derek Dooley, son of Vince, leading the Bulldogs in against Auburn. And Gene Chiswick's debut as the head coach. 10-7 there on ESPNU.
All right, Reese, keep us posted. Here we've got a 7-0 Oklahoma lead. Moses Madu in the backfield for Oklahoma on the toss sweep. And did a little dancing and lost 2 yards. Nick Saoto.
One thing for BYU, they are in this football game. Last year, Oklahoma destroyed their opponents early, 225-30 in the first quarter. One thing for Oklahoma in that first quarter, they had a turnover and 6 penalties. They only averaged 7 penalties a game all year last year. 2nd
and 12 here for Bradford. Sam throws it out complete into BYU territory to DeJuan Miller. Remember, he's looking for new wide receivers with the loss to graduation of Joaquin Iglesias, Manuel Johnson, 2 of the most prolific receivers Oklahoma's ever had. And again, if you're just joining us and you hadn't heard this week, without his All-American tight end in this game. Matt Clapp flags down. Looks like it's going to be another one against Oklahoma. Matt's going, I can't take the rap for this one because I was carrying the ball. This could be a chop block, I think.
Personal foul, chop block on the offense, number 71. Penalties decline.
And that's their returning starter, left tackle Trent Williams, the big left tackle out of Longview, Texas. 7 penalties, 6 on the offense. That'll drive you crazy as a coach.
And again, they averaged 7 per game last year. Already 7 here in 1 quarter and some change.
McKay Jacobson has dropped 1 punt today. Tress Way set to kick as you look behind Tress, a redshirt freshman out of Tulsa. And this one might hang in there long enough and bounce out of bounds, and it does at about the 11-yard line. Let's take a look at tonight's Good Hands Flashback, brought to you by Allstate. Remember this guy? In the Holiday Bowl, December 21st of '84, Robbie Bosco going to the end zone for the touchdown. And what did that do? It not only beat Michigan, it gave BYU the national championship before any of the other bowl games were ever played, for all practical purposes anyway. 24-17.
Oklahoma under Barry Switzer was ranked number 2 that year and played Washington in the Orange Bowl, thinking if they won that game convincingly they might win it, but they lost to the Huskies.
First down from the 11. And it's Manasseh Tonga who picks up about 3 as we check in with Reese again.
All right, Brad, the reigning national champion Florida Gators, tired 2 deep back on defense. Some fellow named Tebow back on offense. He gives the ball to Chris Rainey, and Jeff Dempsey running wild against poor Charleston Southern. They're just there to get the $450,000 paycheck to buy some new locker rooms or something. Touchdown Gators. There will be a lot more where that came from. 14-0 after 1. Texas is up on UL Monroe by 11.
And here, BYU trying to come back against Oklahoma as Hall zips a pass to O'Neal Chambers on a quick slant, good for 8 yards.
And the second time Oklahoma has tried to get to Max Hall with a corner blitz, and both times he read it and hung in there and made a nice throw for the first down.
Out at the 22-yard line now, a little more room to breathe. Max in the shotgun. And that looks like a broken play. Cut back to the line of scrimmage. O'Neal Chambers, number 4, is the guy that caught the last one on the quick pass.
Max Hall, like any BYU quarterback, wants to throw the ball on rhythm. That's what their offense is all built on. And if you give him a chance to get his feet set and be in rhythm, he's very, very accurate. And again, so far tonight, I think the BYU offensive line has done a pretty fair job protecting their quarterback.
They're giving him max protection.
I like that.
On a counter, out across the 25, Manasatanga to the 26-yard line. Austin English made the stop. That front line of Beal and Taylor, McCoy and English, a lot of people thought BYU wouldn't be able to move those guys off the ball. There's McCoy, the captain, the junior out of Oklahoma City, an All-American candidate. And talking with Brent Venables, all of us earlier in the week, I said, does he have a little Tommy Harris in him? He said they have a lot of similarities. Actually, Gerald's bigger, taller anyway. But Tommy Harris was a great one when he played in Norman. Sooners thinking about a blitz. They back out of it. Hall in the middle, and he's got his man, the big tight end. And it's a first down to Andrew George. So sometimes you start looking for Dennis Pitta and you forget about number 88.
Well, they're both very, very capable guys. 23 catches last year for Andrew George. But again, it starts with that protection. It was a 4-man rush by Oklahoma, picked up nicely by BYU, and Hall is able to scan the middle of the field and find his other tight end, George, for the first down.
Well, you can't do any better than 19 yards on 3rd and 6. Well, for 1 second, the video board went white in front of us, and I thought the moon was coming through the roof. Did you notice? It's only from the 20 to the 20, the video board in front of us. Hall, nice pass to O'Neal Chambers again, just a little bit short of the first down.
Here's another thing that Max Hall is doing as a veteran quarterback. He's varying his snap count. And so that was a long snap count, and Oklahoma wanted to blitz. Well, they showed the blitz too early. So he knew it was coming. He knew he had one guy that was unblocked, but he wasn't phased because he knew where the pressure was coming from. Changing his snap count, forcing Oklahoma to kind of show their hand before they wanted to.
Now they've got the option to go back to the ground to either Career or Heimuli if they choose on 2nd down and 1. And they will. Little draw play. Didn't go anywhere, though. Wow. Talk about filling a hole. Travis Lewis, who last year broke Brian Bosworth's freshman tackle record as a linebacker, and he is something special.
Yeah, I mean, he filled this hole so quickly and then makes a perfect fundamental tackle. I mean, just gets there, stands him up, wraps the arms up, and stops him short of the first down on 2nd and short.
Correa didn't get an inch. He might have lost 6 inches. It's 3rd down and a long yard. Correa stays right there, number 33, the tailback in the eye. See if they choose to try to stuff it up in there again against that Oklahoma front. Or will they throw? They will run. And he didn't get it again. And Lewis again was one of the first to fill the hole, along with Sam Proctor from the secondary.
Well, this time, short yardage plays are all about leverage. Who gets lower, offensive line or defensive line? The line gets in there, stuffs things up. No penetration, and then Lewis is able to finish it off.
Tonga tried to get to Lewis, but he just sort of slid under him. And so Travis, the sophomore to San Antonio, makes back-to-back superb plays. Who knows if Harvey Unga, who's not playing tonight, would have had enough power to get that yard. So they had a 2nd and 1. Now they got a 4th and 1. Wow. Nice punt. And it's going to fall inside the 5, down near the 1. Perfect punt by Stevenson. Blake Morgan got down on special teams to down it, and Oklahoma couldn't be buried any deeper in their own territory. This is how you do it. Nothing to this punting in major college football, I guess. Welcome back to the Dick's Sporting Goods Cowboys Classic, presented by Hampton Hotels. There's the video board we were talking about a little while ago. Got the big OU insignia on it now. That goes from the 20-yard line to the other 20-yard line. That's how big this thing is. And this is the group that's running it. And they got a lot to take care of, because somebody told me that video board costs more than the original Texas Stadium in Arlington when they built it back in the day. I don't know if that's true or not.
Gil Brandt told Bob Stoops before the game it costs twice as much as the old Texas Stadium.
Trying to get out of deep in their own territory is Chris Brown. Picked up about 5. And you say, well, how big is that board? You've got to see this place. 160 feet wide, 72 high, 30 million light bulbs, and it weighs a whole bunch. It is unbelievable. If you ever get the chance to come in here for a game, or even a tour for that matter, do it. Here's Brown again. This time it's stretched out nicely by Sean Doman, who's made some nice plays on defense for BYU.
I'll tell you, one of the real stories of this game so far has been how the BYU defense has played. I mean, Oklahoma, this is their 6th offensive possession. And of their 5 possessions in the first quarter, 3 of them ended in 3 and outs, which is almost unheard of for this offense.
No doubt. Murray's back in there at tailback now.
I think if they get a first down here, we might see them start to put the ball more in Sam Bradford's hands on early downs throwing it.
DeMarco Murray, and he won't get there. The ball, oh, it's a helmet. Excuse me, I thought a ball was coming out of there. Andrew Rich, he has put his head in there several times on tackles from his safety spot tonight.
This BYU defense is not intimidated. That's Jamie Hill, the defensive coordinator. They are not afraid of this defense.
Ooh, that's a crunch job. Andrew Rich coming out of Snow College in Utah a couple of years ago.
Bronco Mendenhall, a defensive guy, was a defensive back also at Snow College and then went on to Oregon State. Actually coaching the nose tackles this year as a position coach as well in this defense.
But he got a great block on protecting the punter. Not a very good kick, but a good roll. A very good bounce. This is going to end up looking really good on paper down to the 41-yard line. A 50-yard punt. When we come back, we'll take you inside a very special locker room. I'm sure a lot of you guys are sticking around for this.
Dick's Sporting Goods Cowboys Classic, brought to you by the terrifying thriller Sorority Row, only in theaters September 11th, and Bud Light, with just the right taste that never fills you up. The difference is drinkability.
If there's a better cheerleader locker room in the country, we don't know where it is. It's here at Cowboy Stadium. Dick's Sporting Goods Cowboys Classic, presented by Hampton Hotels. Oklahoma leading 7-0. Brad Nessler, Todd Blackledge. You know, partner, there were some other coaches around the Mountain West that thought maybe BYU would be able to hang with Oklahoma.
And probably the most vocal about it was Gary Patterson, the coach at TCU. TCU's team was staying in our hotel the night before their opening game, and he really thought that BYU would play with Oklahoma kind of toe-to-toe, and they've done that. Their defense has been very impressive so far in this game.
Remember, there's precedent for that. 4 years ago in the opener, TCU got Oklahoma.
The only opening game loss Bob Stoops has had at Oklahoma.
Here's Max Hall going deep. Got a man open, and he's got him. Jacobson to the 10.
He had a free play because Oklahoma was offsides, and Max Hall knew it and took a shot and found Jacobson for a big play.
There's his big play man. Last year it would have been Austin Collie. And now we do have a flag now, but it's a 49-yard pickup unless this is against BYU.
And it's not. Number 22. Penalties decline.
The penalty was against Oklahoma. Keenan Clayton was coming on a blitz on the outside. Again, the change of snap count by Max Hall forces the show of the hand by Oklahoma. And once he knew he had a free play, Dominique Franks, I'm not sure what he was looking at or reading, but took himself right out of position and let Jacobson run behind him for a big play.
So it's 1st and goal at the 10. Hall's hit his last 4 passes since the interception. He's set to throw again, or maybe not. Nope. Goes down. In fact, his knee, I think, was back a little bit farther, closer to the 14-yard line.
You know, when you're a quarterback, and Max Hall's a veteran guy, he's played a lot of ball in his career, you got a little bit of a clock in your mind, and you know you've only got so long to hold on to the football, particularly against an aggressive defense like he's facing tonight. And once that clock goes off, you got to do something. You got to try to scramble forward and get whatever you can get, and then live to play the next play.
And the next play is 2nd and goal, but backed up almost to the 15-yard line, just outside the 14. And there's another flag. The linesman throws the flag, and he's going to say false start again. I don't think anybody had a chance to start to be false.
False start on the offense. Number 76. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Braden Hansen, the left guard, apparently is the guy with a call. So
the only thing I can think of is if he had his hand down in a 3-point stance and pulled it up to listen to the audible, but I don't think BYU hardly ever puts their linemen in a 3-point stance.
There's the numbers, the Heisman Trophy winners on the bottom. The senior out of Mesa, Arizona, right now trying to get his first touchdown. And the officials stop play again. It's going to be a timeout taken, I think, by the Sooners. We'll take a timeout with them. 5:08 remaining in the first half. Oklahoma with a 7-point lead, but the Cougars on the move. Welcome back to the Dick's Sporting Goods Cowboys Classic presented by Hampton Hotels. Oklahoma leading 7-0. Time for our Aflac trivia question. Who's BYU's career completion percentage leader? Think it over. We'll have the answer for you coming up shortly. Right now, Max Hall would like to complete one as you look behind him on 2nd down and goal. But that 2nd and goal started at the 10, and due to penalties, they're backed up almost to the 20-yard line. Hall pump fakes one way, the throwback, slip screen to O'Neal. Chambers down to the 2.
Ball came out.
Oklahoma's got it, I think.
No. Yep.
Wow. Killing turnovers suffered by the Cougars here in this first half.
Well, and it looked like Chambers knew where the hit was coming from as he was running across the field. Now, my only question was he down before the ball came out?
Good point.
That was the only question I had on this play.
On the field as the ball was fumbled short of the goal line. Recovered by Oklahoma. Touchback.
Quentin Carter recovered it. Jeremy Beal is the guy that tracked him down, Todd.
Beautiful play call, great execution, and right now Chambers' eye sees where the hit's coming from and tries to protect the ball. But Jeremy Beal just stays with the tackle, and the ball comes out. I mean, he knew the hit was coming, tried to cover up the football, and still fumbled it.
They got the helmet right on. You see his knees are not down. That's a good call.
Actually, Brian Jackson, I think, is the guy who punched the ball out. Beal made the tackle. Watch Brian Jackson's right hand rips the ball out from behind.
Well, a great combination between the defensive end, who covered a lot of ground, and the cornerback Jackson. And there comes the football. And then it's Quentin Carter in the right spot at the right time. Would have been the game-tying touchdown, or at least it would have been down to the 1-yard line. And they would have had another crack at the end zone.
The only good thing for BYU is, well, there isn't. I mean, the only good thing, I was going to say, the only good thing is that Oklahoma is still backed up. You know, they don't have a short field after the turnover, but, well, you got to score when you get those chances.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Fumble in the field of play, recovered by Oklahoma in the end zone for a touchback.
So Scott Novak replaying the official review from upstairs with just under 5 minutes to go in the half. Remember, a muffed punt, a fumbled punt return led to a touchdown. And now, just when it looked like BYU was going to even things off, O'Neal Chambers coughs it up. It goes in the end zone, and Oklahoma starts at the 20.
I think Kevin Wilson's going to put the ball in Sam Bradford's hands now and let him start throwing the football. They've been pretty stifled on offense so far in this ball game. Give it to the Heisman Trophy winner. Let him start to move your team a little bit.
Bradford in the shotgun. And on first down, Sam throws a dart complete, just as Todd called it. And a pickup of 18 as we check in with Reese quickly.
All right, guys, you know, from 1978 to 1997, Texas did not return a single kickoff for a touchdown. In this Taco Bell studio update, DJ Monroe does it for the 5th time in the Mac Brown era, his first career touchdown. Horns up on Louisiana Monroe, 28-10.
Here it's Oklahoma with a first down with 4:35 remaining in the half. Bradford, this time the outs, complete to Tennell, and Tennell's got another first down. And a penalty marker on a late hit. Brandon Bradley's the guy that shoved him out of bounds right in front of the BYU bench.
BYU has done a great job of standing up to the running game of Oklahoma. Now I think you got to switch gears.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness on the defense, number 41. 15 yards from the dead ball spot. First down.
Brandon Bradley was there, but it's going to be 41 Clausen who hit him about 1.5 yards out of bounds. Linebackers have a hard time pulling up sometimes. First down now, so quickly the Sooners have moved it to the Cougars' 35. And again, 4 wideouts for Bradford. They're going to bring a delayed blitz. He throws out complete to Broyles, and Broyles put it on the turf. And BYU's got it.
Oh, man.
Wow. Brett Denny comes up with a football.
Well, we already mentioned Oklahoma all season last year. 2 fumbles the entire year. Well, they've equaled that tonight. Well job, nice job on the tackle. Broyles' knees were not down. They were on the player, and the ball came out. Andrew Rich there to make the play. Jordan Pendleton comes with the hit, and the ball comes out.
Rich had his knees right on, Broyles had his knees right on Rich's chest, so he never touched the ground.
And in both cases, we saw one guy there to wrap up the tackle, and the second guy comes and knocks the ball out. Oklahoma did it, and now BYU did it.
Good swarming defense helping your teammates. Here's Max Hall on first down, and he's under a blitz. They pick it up. He throws, and a great job defensively by Quentin Carter to lay out and get his right hand out there to deflect the ball, but there's a penalty marker down.
It's a late penalty.
On the offense, number 64. 10-yard penalty. First down. R.J.
Willing, the center.
Working on Gerald McCoy, I think. And again, that's an all-day job. Actually, it was the other tackle, Adrian Taylor, number 96 or 86, who he was working on.
It's an all-day job for 2 guys, usually. 6 penalties each for these 2 teams. First and 20 now for the Cougars. Hall waits, fires, might have been tipped a little bit, but he got it out, and he got it complete to Dennis Pitta. Is that the first catch for Pitta? It is. Guy who caught 83 a year ago. Plenty of time here with BYU going without a huddle, as both teams have done the majority of the night. But even with that pickup, they've got second down and 11. Hall again completes it again to Pitta. Pitta trying to get to the near side of the marker, and he's about a yard shy.
Every time Oklahoma has tried to blitz off the edge, Max Hall has seen it, read it, and hit him for a play. I mean, he is doing a great job with his eyes of scanning the defense and not getting fooled by any kind of pressures. Now, they've gotten to him sometimes just when they beat their guys, but when they've tried to blitz off the edge, he has seen it every time.
Max was number 6 in the country last year in passing efficiency. Sam Bradford led the country in that category. So we've got 2 of the best on the same field, but we've got a 7-0 game. We thought we'd see more offense. This is a big third down here with just under 3 minutes to go in the half, and it's complete. And breaking tackles is Correa down the sideline. Cuts back inside the 10 to the 5.
Well, for the 3rd time in the game tonight, that was a 3rd and 1 situation for BYU, which means you could run it or throw it. Max Hall gets rid of the ball quick against the blitz. Correa does a nice job of turning upfield, and a really nice job on the outside also by Luke Ashworth, number 29, pulling off and not blocking in the back and bringing this play back.
They've got another 1st and goal as they had earlier. They don't want to spoil and waste this one. Late in the 2nd quarter, trying to tie things up with number 3 Oklahoma. Correa. Fumble.
Oh my gosh, bounced right back up to him.
Wow, he got lucky.
Was that Ryan Reynolds that met him in the hole? Somebody met him right in there. Sam Proctor, the safety. Helmet on the football. Wow.
Second down and goal now. Bronco Mendenhall saying, what else can go wrong between penalties and the ball popping out from his receivers and running backs?
And again, remember, BYU without their best tailback, Harvey Unga, out with the hamstring injury, their power back.
Hall, nice play fake to the end zone, touchdown. Andrew George. So they don't waste the opportunity, and they're an extra point away from tying it up.
Second down and goal. Oklahoma guessing run. Good play fake by Max Hall. That froze the linebackers. It froze Dominique Franks for a minute. And he's able to make the throw for the touchdown.
Mitch Payne in for the point after. The kick is up and good. So Max Hall, his 62nd career touchdown pass to his big tight end in the corner. And number 20 and number 3 are all locked at 7.
I'm Reese Davis, just a couple of minutes away from the Wendy's halftime report. When we get there, we'll check in on Texas. Longhorns have some breathing room, though Colt McCoy just threw an interception right down here. The Gators are rolling as expected against Charleston Southern. Ohio State had a razor-close shave against the Naval Academy. Also get you up to date on Alabama and Virginia Tech. All of that, Mark and Lou will join me. We'll see you on the Wendy's halftime report.
All right, Reese, see you in a minute, 25 seconds. Here we're tied up. BYU, a 63-yard drive in 5 plays, the majority of it a 50-yard pass from Max Hall to Correa, and then the touchdown to his tight end. And here's the kick, high and short. Somebody better come up and make a play on it. On the hop at the 19 is Ryan Broyles. That was a live ball. And Broyles got to the 30-yard line. Well, a little bit earlier we asked you the trivia question, and it was, who's BYU's career completion percentage leader? Oh, they didn't even give us a chance to guess. Steve Sarkisian, the new head coach of the Huskies of Washington back in the mid-90s. I did a couple of games when Steve was playing, and he had some nice years there.
Yeah.
Tonight, he makes his debut against LSU. Not an easy way to start coaching. Let's see.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Sam Bradford's got 2 timeouts to work with at a minute 20. And he goes to work. Quick out and out of bounds to Brandon Caleb, but another penalty marker on the play. This is more flags than we've seen in a long, long time. Especially from Oklahoma.
10-yard penalty. First step.
Let's check in with Heather.
Well, guys, senior linebacker Travis Lewis was just being attended to by the doctors. They had him up on the table and were doing an ACL test on that left knee. Now, that is very standard. Anytime somebody tweaks the knee, they do the ACL test. Now, Travis Lewis trying to walk it off, to be determined whether or not he'll return to action.
That'd be a big loss.
Yeah.
They mentioned 144 tackles last year. Phenomenal player. He's only going to get better and better. Here's a little toss to DeMarco. DeMarco Murray bangs his way out to the 27, maybe the 28-yard line.
Well, the longer this game goes, the more this BYU defense is flying around, too. I mean, they're a physical bunch. I mean, I had them in the bowl game last year against Arizona. They lost by 10. They gave up over 400 yards to Arizona's offense. A much different-looking defense tonight.
That pass incomplete, and flags down.
Yeah, They're going to get Brian Logan. He had his arm wrapped around him, and he didn't have to because the ball was overthrown. I think the pass was too high and wouldn't have been complete.
On a defense, number 7. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic, first down.
Brian Logan, the other BYU Cougar who's playing with a soft cast, and that's not helping him on his left hand. You can see he's got those last 3 fingers wrapped up.
See, the ball is well overthrown over Tunnell, and Logan really didn't need to do it.
Right.
A gift for the Sooners.
And a gift of a first down at the 41-yard line. Bradford pumps once and now across the middle, completes it, and that's going to be a face mask on top of the completion to Chris Brown, and that'll be 15 more, and it's going to move Oklahoma all the way down to about the 35-yard line. And here's the call. Just trying to get the numbers straight.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense. 15 yards will be added to the end of the run. Automatic, first down.
I understand this whole sportsmanship initiative thing this first weekend, but both teams are going way out of their way to help the other team tonight, whether it be by turnovers or penalties.
Even the chin strap or a helmet opening, you get your fingers caught in there, and it's a face mask, and there's no incidental anymore. That ended last year.
Yeah.
So 15 takes him down to the 36 with a first down for Sam Bradford. Sam had to get rid of it in a hurry a little bit earlier than he wanted to. He got some pressure up the middle that time. I think it was Colby Clausen, the outside linebacker.
Yeah, that looked like a bust in protection for Oklahoma because it wasn't an all-out blitz. But Clausen came unimpeded to the quarterback, and you're right, Sam had to unload it before he wanted to.
So it's second down and 10. Bradford has plenty of time this time. Deep middle's got his man, Brandon Caleb. And it's a first down.
Oklahoma needs a call timeout here. They've got 2 of them. The clock will start again when they reset the chains and they call the timeout.
With 12 seconds remaining. So they've got a couple of cracks at it before they would have to try a field goal. 7-7 ball game. Reminder, ESPN NASCAR Sunday. NASCAR Sprint Cup Series heads to Atlanta for Labor Day weekend. Only 2 races remain for Kyle Busch, Casey Kane, Mark Martin trying to get off that bubble and into the chase. NASCAR Sprint Cup Series coverage starts tomorrow at 7 Eastern on ESPN with NASCAR Countdown telecast presented by Pennzoil. There's your yellow line. You want to stay above that, baby, or you're not going to be in the chase. Carl Edwards has won there, I think, like 3 times, and isn't he driving with a broken foot or something this weekend? These guys are crazy. If I had a broken foot, I'd be sitting back watching us eating a hot dog. There's a couple Oklahoma guys. On the left, head basketball coach Jeff Capel. Barry Switzer leaning back in his chair. It was almost a good day for another former Duke point guard, Greg Paulus at Syracuse, but they came up short by 3 to Minnesota. 12 seconds remaining in the half. You got the Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback, Bradford. Throws over the middle, incomplete, and he gets planted again by Colby Clausen. And he's holding his right shoulder.
That was a zone blitz by BYU. Oh, boy.
The last thing in the world you want to see on any weekend, but especially the first game. Clausen gave him a pretty good rap a couple of plays ago, and now Sam gets hit again, and he's dangling his right arm.
Well, the injury didn't occur on the hit. It occurred when he hit the ground, which is normally the case on a shoulder like that. It was a zone blitz, so lineman dropped. Clausen beat Trent Williams on the inside. It's a clean hit, and at the end of the play, you see he lands right on the right shoulder.
Looked a little bit like that Hainsworth thing on Tom Brady a week or so ago, but here's another angle and another look. And you see it's not the takeoff like Todd said, it's the landing. Right there. So Jimmy Stevens is going to try a field goal of 35 yards to try to put Oklahoma ahead at halftime. And he's got it with 3 seconds, make it 2 seconds remaining. But all eyes of everybody in this stadium and probably everybody that's watching this game tonight is on the sideline with the OU trainers and the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback.
They started the game without their All-American tight end Jermaine Gresham, and now Sam Bradford, the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback from a year ago. Not a dirty hit, not a late hit, a normal play, but the impact of hitting the ground right on that right shoulder with Clausen on top of him.
Oh, man.
Man, oh, man.
A guy that's been the pass efficiency leader in the country the last 2 years. 50 touchdown passes last year, winning the Heisman Trophy and going off with an imaginary sling, as you see how he's holding his right arm as he heads to the locker room with 2 seconds left in the half.
And you know, I mean, it's worth mentioning, even though it's pretty obvious, that is his throwing arm. You know, it's a little different if he lands on his left shoulder and he throws right-handed, but that is his throwing arm. And that just adds to the seriousness of that injury.
Everybody wearing crimson and cream in this stadium is doing what that lady was doing on the sideline. Landry Jones would be the guy that would be the number 2 quarterback. Line drive kick by Stevens to try to end the half, bouncing up. Jacobson will get it, and he'll go down as the second quarter comes to a close. Not the way any of us wanted the second quarter to go. Not that BYU hasn't tied it up, but to see an All-American quarterback go down to injury, we don't know the severity. Let's go down to Heather.
Thanks, Brad. Coach, obviously not very much time to digest Sam Bradford's injury, but what's your initial concern?
We'll see. You know, everyone saw it, so we'll just go in the locker room here and see what we can find out.
Obviously, we're pending a diagnosis, but how does your game plan change in the second half if he can't play?
Well, we'll run the same game plan. Landry Jones, who's our backup, if Sam's not able to play, he'll have to come in and run our game plan.
Coach, we appreciate your time.
All right, so those are the word of Bob Stoops, who, you know, he's saying a prayer as he jogs to the locker room in hopes that Sam can still play. But our halftime score, Oklahoma by a field goal, 10-7. Let's head now to our Wendy's halftime report and Reese Davis. Reese.
Brad, not going to speculate just yet, but it shows you how fragile a season can be. With one play, the entire landscape of the college football season could change. See what Sam Bradford's injury situation is right now. For this game, as it pertains to going forward in the second half, BYU has played aggressively. They've played tough. If Landry Jones, who hasn't played much, has to come in and replace Sam Bradford, can the Sooners win the game, in your estimation?
It's going to be difficult for him to win the game. You're losing a quarterback that threw 50 touchdown passes and just 8 interceptions last year, and yes, he won the Heisman. But you're looking at an offense right now that is struggling against the BYU defense. Their average 51 points a game last year. That was number 1 in the nation. They've been held to 10 points in the first half, and Bronco Mendenhall has done an outstanding job of coaching their defense for BYU, putting pressure on Sam Bradshaw, and shutting down the run of Oklahoma.
Yeah, but BYU's had 8 penalties for 79 yards and a half. I mean, that's enough for an entire game. I wouldn't be concerned about quarterback until we see how well the second-string quarterback plays, if he has to. And here's why I say that. We're playing Pitt. All of a sudden, last play of the half, same thing. Quarterback throws, lands on his shoulder. We're going to halftime. Broken collarbone. He's out. Okay, Tony Race, you haven't played. You're going to be my quarterback second half. Rest of it's history. Made me a hero.
Coach,
for a year.
Coach, was your first string quarterback a former Heisman Trophy winner?
No, but he was the best one I had. I'll tell you that.
Well, certainly we hope that Sam's not hurt badly. We'll see right now Oklahoma with a field goal lead at the break. Bradford's good buddy Colt McCoy in Texas opening its season.
This is Dick's Sporting Goods Kickoff Week.
And welcome back to Arlington and Dick's Sporting Goods Cowboys Classic presented by Hampton Hotels. Just about set to start the third quarter. Third-ranked Oklahoma leading number 20 Brigham Young 10-7 on a late field goal in the second quarter. But that is not the story of this football game or this entire first weekend of college football. That story is in the arm of Sam Bradford, the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback for the Sooners, who took a hit from Colby Clausen there. And then after getting rid of the ball, Terrence Hooks let him have it. And then almost on the same play, only a very different landing, it's Clausen again as Bradford got rid of the ball, lands on that right shoulder, and immediately You could see the pain on his face, grabbing his shoulder, and then heading to the locker room in the waning seconds of the second quarter. Welcome back, everybody. Brad Nessler and Todd Blackledge. Partner, the euphoria of the Oklahoma fans and everything. Yeah. This place is so quiet right now. It's amazing.
Well, it is amazing, and it's sad. I mean, everybody talked about the offensive line. How would they be? Well, think about this. Last year, Sam Bradford, they had 510 pass plays called with him at quarterback.
Right.
He was only hit 43 times. We just saw him get hit 3 times in their last possession. So this new offensive line, problems in the game so far.
And we'll get a report from Heather on Sam's condition as the kickoff goes to Jacobson at the 8-yard line, and he's going to get buried inside the 20. So this Oklahoma team knows they have to rally now with special teams and defense and a new quarterback. Let's find out what Heather's found out about Sam Bradford's condition. Heather?
Well, guys, Sam Bradford spent about the first 10 minutes of halftime in with the doctors getting x-rays. Those x-rays are negative. Then he was carted into the locker room in an obvious amount of pain from that shoulder. Now, I've been told he has been diagnosed with a sprain of the AC joint in that right throwing arm. They have not officially given me a prognosis other than to say he will not return to action today. However, I did talk to a physician not affiliated with the team that said typically with an AC joint sprain, you're out a couple of weeks, guys.
Boy, what a way to spoil a first ball game for everybody around the country, whether you like the Sooners or not. Max Hall over the middle, incomplete, intended for Manasseh Tonga. And here's the guy they're going to have to lean on now, at least at the quarterback position. I would imagine that they are going to run the ball with DeMarco Murray and Chris Brown as much as they can. They're going to hope that their defense can hold BYU in check and that their special teams can maybe come up with something special.
I like his arm. I watched him in practice on Thursday in Norman. He's got a very live arm. But he's not Sam Bradford.
Second down and 10 for BYU, and over and through the hands of Max Hall. He picks it up on one hop and got rid of it. Boy, he did a nice job. Saw Jeff Capel earlier. That was a pretty good dribble by Max Hall. Get that thing back and get it out of there.
Now, this was a hard snap and a high snap. Very difficult to field that one, and Max Hall did the right thing. Get the ball first and then minimize the damage.
First time that BYU's had a 3rd and 10 tonight. We talked about the proficiency a year ago, but a lot of those were shorter yardage than this. They'd like to do something on this opening march of the third quarter against a depleted now Sooner squad without their star quarterback. Blitz is coming. Hall waited, pump faked, and just overshot McKay Jacobson. He had him open.
Boy, he sure did. Oklahoma tried to come with a little pressure. It was a 5-man rush. Austin English was the first one to get to Max Hall. It was blocked well enough for Hall to make the play. He just overshot Jacobson.
He would love to have that one back. Yep. And now their punter, who's done a great job tonight in his first action as a college football player, Riley Stevenson. And Bronco Mendenhall said he has been phenomenal in practice. We just hope that when he gets in the game, he does the same thing. And so far tonight, he has. Ryan Broyles waits back at about the 40-yard line. This one not as good a punt as his last couple, but it will roll down to about the 41-yard line. So now all eyes on our guy that we did not expect to see tonight, quite frankly. Landry Jones, a redshirt freshman out of Artesia, New Mexico. 6'4", 216-pounder. There's your Heisman Trophy winner. The pads are off, and everybody can only pray and hope that he is back quickly. He became the all-time OU passing leader tonight, passing Jason White. And now here's his understudy, trying to lead the number 3 team in the country against a BYU team that has been very stingy defensively. From the 41. They'll keep it on the ground to Chris Brown, and he got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it.
And that's really been the story for BYU's defense, their ability to stop the run. I mean, 68 yards rushing in the first half for Oklahoma. You talk about an offense that's been out of sync. 6 penalties, only 68 yards rushing. Sam Bradford knocked down and then ultimately out of the game.
And they average just under 200 yards a game on the ground last year to go with about 350 from that guy.
And here's kind of an interesting thing about that running game last year. 3 games they were held under 150 yards rushing. 2 of those games they lost.
That's right.
They beat TCU even though TCU held them to 23 yards rushing, but they lost to Florida and they lost to Texas.
Right. So now 1st and 24. Not the spot Landry Jones wanted to be in. Inside handoff. Brown, maybe 3.
Landry Jones is a winner. That's one thing you do know about him. He led his team in Artesia, New Mexico to back-to-back state championships in 2006, 2007. Redshirted as a freshman at Oklahoma last year. So he's been in the system for 2 years.
That mustache is not that thick, though.
Oh, it's not.
2 years ago, he threw 44 touchdown passes in high school, but there's a lot of guys around that can do that.
Yeah, my dad would call that a football mustache, 11 hairs on each side.
He sets to throw and shoots it complete. That'll give him a little bit of confidence to Brandon Caleb. Pick up a 13 as Sam Bradford looks on.
Well, they're not going to beat BYU by just sitting on their hands offensively. I mean, they're going to have to let him throw the football, and you see on that deep out route what kind of arm he has.
Still got a 3rd down and 8 to manage. But he took a big hit, and he almost got it complete out to Tennell.
That was the same pressure that they hit Sam Bradford on his last play. It was Jordan Pendleton, number 1, who got free, comes on the inside, a zone pressure blitz, and Landry Jones does a nice job just hanging in there to make the throw.
If they don't have somebody to fill that gap pretty soon, we're going to be looking at the 3rd quarterback because it's coming from the same spot.
Well, what they're doing is they're confusing. There's 5 guys up there to block, and they're not rushing more than they have guys blockers, but they're showing one pressure and pulling out, and they're getting guys blocking air and not guys with white shirts.
Tressway to punt. Oh, and he got a beauty here. Jacobson's got a backpedal all the way down to about the 7-yard line. And out of bounds at the 9 or 10. 50-yard kick, only a 3-yard return. Gresham, the All-American tight end, hasn't been in uniform all night. The Heisman Trophy winners all wrapped up in ice. Not a good sign for Oklahoma.
All right, football fans, it's time to...
Dick's Sporting Goods Cowboy Classic presented by Hampton Hotels. 10-7 Oklahoma with a lead. Todd, show us what you're talking about that delayed blitz.
Well, here's Jordan Pendleton. Now he's going to be the guy that comes on the blitz, but what you got to see as this play stops right here, you've got 3 Oklahoma guys here blocking nobody that's rushing, and Pendleton has a free shot at the quarterback. There's only 4 guys rushing. There's 5 or 6 blockers available for Oklahoma, but they're confusing this new offensive line with it disguising their pressure.
BYU starting for the 2nd time inside its own 10. 2 minutes into the 3rd quarter and trailing by 3. Max Hall, draw play. And Correa, who's had a big night, filling in for Harvey Unga, and he's got a 1st down. He's a tough runner. 214-pound sophomore out of Kaysville, Utah.
This whole BYU team is showing some physicality, some toughness and grit, whether it's running the football, protecting their quarterback, or coming up and playing defense. They are a much more physical BYU team than I saw last December in the bowl game.
DeLuigi now in there behind, or with Tonga, I should say, flanking Max Hall. And now it's Tonga that slips into a slot on the left side on 1st down. Hall, quick throw, completes to his tight end, Dennis Pitta. A pickup of 9 more. So he's starting to find his favorite target now, number 32. And again, BYU, like Oklahoma, very seldom huddling. Once in a while, a little bit of a bunch huddle when they change personnel, as they just did there. But Max Hall's just waiting for everybody to get in the proper spots.
And after this play, I'll tell you one reason why teams like to do that. It's not just to hurry up and play fast.
Second down on the yard. Correa, a little quick opener, and he's got the first down.
When you use no huddle, I mean, you always have that ability or that option of going quickly and running a lot of more plays. But the other thing you do when you go no huddle is you try to prevent the defense from substituting. You keep personnel groups on the field that you want to go against. And so that's why you see so many teams going to that no huddle. You always have the option to go fast, but you also can keep the defense on the field that you want.
Here they take their time, put DeLuigi back in there with Correa again. Hall on a 1st and 10. Trailing by 3, 11-18 remaining in the third quarter. You just joined us, Sam Bradford, the Heisman Trophy winner, out with a shoulder injury. He will not play anymore tonight. There's a nice play defensively by Gerald McCoy. We've been waiting for number 93 to do something like that, and a loss of 6.
He has tremendous anticipation of the snap count. Here he is right here, right over the center. I mean, he's like inches away from the ball. And then he has great anticipation skills. Actually, I drew the wrong guy. He was one guy over, but he still anticipated the snap count. Great first step off the football into the BYU backfield.
That's okay. You gave Adrian Taylor a little love on the circle there.
There you go.
Now the Oklahoma fans trying to come to life with a long yardage situation behind Max Hall. 2nd and 16. Incomplete, intended for DeLuigi. Reminder, ESPN's College Football Monday presented by Cars.com. A doubleheader for you on Labor Day. 4 o'clock Eastern, Big East battle. Cincinnati taking on Rutgers. And at 8 Eastern, Miami and Florida State go head-to-head in Tallahassee. College football presented by Cars.com and College Football Primetime on ESPN Monday. Hope you join us for those 2 games while you're having a day off. This is certainly no day off for either of these teams. Number 20 BYU trailing by 3.
Max Hall needs to be really smart here with the football. They can't afford another turnover. Their defense is playing too well.
Here comes a blitz. Hall, and he's just going to cover it. They brought the heat. He felt the pressure and wisely covered it up with both hands and hit the turf. 3rd sack for Oklahoma.
See, 3rd down and long is a lot different for BYU. You bring pressure, even if Max Hall gets rid of it, he's probably going to throw underneath, and you stop him short of the 1st down. Good defensive call that time by Brent Venables. And right now, if you're Max Hall, you got to say, you know what, my defense is playing well. They've got their backup quarterback who hasn't played. I don't want to put my defense in a bad position right now.
A punt's not a terrible play, especially where this guy's been kicking tonight at times. This one shorter is going to be returned. Royals only got about 4, though. Nice punt coverage, but excellent field position for Landry Jones, number 12, replacing the Heisman Trophy winner. Can he get Oklahoma's offense in gear? Stick around. We'll find out together.
Dick's Sporting Goods Cowboys Classic is presented by Hampton Hotels. At Hampton, we love having you here. And in part by New York Life, the company you keep.
Back inside Cowboys Stadium. It's 10-7 Oklahoma. But remember, they've got a new quarterback out there. They've got a guy playing center that's normally a tight end, number 50 right there, Todd.
Yeah, Brody Eldridge, this is his 1st year as a starting center. He's a veteran guy, and Bob Stoops calls him one of his best football players on his team. A tenacious blocker, but a little new to the center position.
And now playing with a rookie quarterback. Here's DeMarco Murray spinning his way inside the 40. They're going to need more of that, Oklahoma, to keep their young quarterback protected. But there's going to be another flag.
1st down.
You know, just to follow up a little bit more on the Brody Eldridge situation, he's a great blocker, whether he's played tight end, whether he's played fullback. I mean, that is what he does. Comes off the football, and he is a tenacious blocker that never stops. Now,
a little bit of holding there,
but on that one. But the problem is your center is responsible for making sure guys are square on your protection calls. And obviously they have had some problems with protection and confusion tonight as a result.
Here's Broyles trying to weave his way, but got only back to the 41-yard line as we go to Reese Davis. Reese.
Brad, just want to give you a feel of what's going on in the family of networks. On ESPNU, Auburn just got a 93-yard touchdown pass from Chris Todd to Terrell Zachary. They're up by 10 on Louisiana Tech. ESPN2 NASCAR Nationwide Series, Kevin Harvick has the lead. And just what you'd expect from Alabama and Virginia Tech, a slugfest. Crimson Tide up 9-7 on ABC.
All right, Reese, it's 10-7 Oklahoma with 8.5 to go here in the third quarter. Landry Jones comes up, has a word with his offensive line, and drops into an empty backfield. Jones looking left all the way and throws it complete that way. DeJuan Miller and a pickup of 8 as we check in with Heather Cox.
Well, for Sam Bradford, a bad night just keeps getting worse, now contending with a bloody nose as well. But some insight into Sam Bradford's mindset this year. When he decided to return to Oklahoma, he was asked if he feared injury playing with an inexperienced O-line. He said he expects to take hits this year. He grew up watching Brett Favre and said, I want to show people, including the NFL scouts, that I can take shots, get up, and keep going. Obviously not happening the way he wanted it to tonight. But guys, as an FYI also, he did take out an insurance policy when he decided to return to college.
Well, Landry Jones looking for some sort of insurance policy as he goes down. Terrence Cooks with the pressure, and Oklahoma's got to give it up.
Same thing. You know, they're bringing linebacker pressures, but they're dropping some of the linemen off, and it's creating confusion for this Oklahoma offensive line. You've got an inexperienced line. You've got a guy playing center who has just been center for about 3 weeks, and now you've got a redshirt freshman quarterback in. Not a recipe for a lot of success against a pretty good BYU defense right now.
Jacobson waits as we look behind. Tress Way to punt. High arching kick. Jacobson fakes the fair catch, and it goes all the way. It just made it in the end zone before it bounced back. It only went in by about a foot. The point of the football hit in the end zone. And Max Hall will be taken over at the 20-yard line. Don't forget, ESPN NASCAR Sunday Sprint Cup Series is in Atlanta at AMS. Atlanta Motor Speedway. Only a couple races left for everybody to try to get off that bubble and get into the Sprint Cup Series. Coverage starts tomorrow at 7 on ESPN with NASCAR Countdown. Telecast presented by Pennzoil. Under the lights in Atlanta. Here we're under the lights and under the dome that is closed tonight, by the way. So we got perfect temperatures inside on a hot, muggy night outside in Arlington, Texas. Things are heating up with BYU and Oklahoma because some of the key players are not playing due to injury. Here's Correa, and he's been a key player tonight.
Boy, he runs hard now. I'm telling you.
Does he ever?
They secured the edge. It was a quick snap and a quick toss to Correa. And I think it was Dennis Pitta. No, they got a block on the edge that secured it for him. But it was a nice quick play that got to the perimeter in a hurry, and Correa with a tough run.
Harvey Unga cheering him on the sideline. They got an Oklahoma player down, and I think it's Adrian Taylor, the big defensive tackle, another Texas native out of Mansfield. Looks like he's holding his left hip maybe.
We talked about the depth of this Oklahoma defensive line. Cordero Moore is the third tackle and probably the guy we'll see in the game right now.
As spectacular a sports venue as you will ever see anywhere in the world. Cowboy Stadium, brand new. Jerry Jones, the man responsible. He's down on the field with Heather.
And certainly the proud father, also the GM and owner of the Dallas Cowboys. And Jerry, you were really involved in virtually every detail of this amazing building. What are you the most proud of?
Well, I think the entrances, the way that our fans can come in the entrance, 60,000 come through the glass doors at the end, and I think that's important. And I must tell you, I'm pretty excited about that board and what it does for all of our fans. As you can see, our fans everywhere, if they're looking at the field, their periphery sees the board. If they're looking at the board, their periphery sees the field.
It's absolutely stunning. Now, you're fresh off of a trip back from Minnesota where the Cowboys scored 28 points in the second half to win. Next game is regular season. Are the Cowboys where they need to be to start the NFL regular season?
Well, I'm pretty pleased with the work we have gotten done with our receivers, which was a question mark without Terrell. And I'm pleased with the way we've developed some depth in our offensive line. And I think we're as far along as we could be. We didn't have serious injuries during our camp, so that was a big plus. But we've worked hard. Boy, we got a lot to make amends for. We ended up pretty disappointing.
Well, speaking of injuries, what was your reaction when you saw Sam Bradford go down in the end of the first half?
Oh, it's a sick, just absolutely a little sick with your stomach. And he's such a really great player, and he's going to obviously have a great life in football, and he's such a wonderful young man, and his feet are on the ground, and you just hate to see that happen on the first in the first game, but hopefully he won't be out long.
Now, you have done just about everything in the world of football, from a player to a coach to a GM to building stadiums. What do you see as your greatest legacy so far?
Well, I wouldn't call it a legacy. This is the Cowboys. This is our fans. This is Bob Lilly. This is Staubach, Aikman, Emmett. My greatest time was coaching my kids when I was about 27, 28, 29. I thought I didn't have time for it, but I'd be in the office mapping out plays and running diagrams. I'm so glad I spent the time doing that. I'd have hated to have had something and missed that.
Well, I'm sure they loved it as well. Guys, can you imagine being Jerry's kids and being coached by him? Thanks so much, Jerry.
Jerry, you put together a spectacular palace here. We salute you. It is some kind of facility. 3rd down and 6 for BYU. Sooners fans are trying to come to life for their defense. Hall in the gun. Here comes Oklahoma, tipped and almost intercepted. Travis Lewis got a hand on it.
Well, Travis Lewis is 6'2", and he's got a little jumping ability as well. He gets in right up the middle, comes right past the center, times his jump, and gets his left hand on the football and thwarts the 3rd down play.
Heather talked about Jerry Jones being in the Metrodome last night, where the Cowboys came from behind in preseason to beat the Vikings. You could put 2 Metrodomes in this place.
This place is spectacular.
I talked to my mom earlier. She said, I hope that people in Minnesota don't watch this. They'll want a new stadium for the Vikings, and we taxpayers will go broke, because they built one for the Twins and they built one for the Gophers. And I tell you what, any football team would be proud to play in this place. Nice high punt, doesn't get anywhere near the video board, and the fair catch is taken at about the 22-yard line. With 4:35 remaining in the 3rd quarter, Oklahoma clinging to a 3-point lead with their backup quarterback and the Heisman Trophy winner on the sideline injured. Right now we're back on campus, brought to you by the movie Sorority Row. 3rd-ranked team in the country, about 200 miles from home. And for Sam Bradford, it maybe feels like light years away from home right now. They're replacing 4 offensive line starters and a couple of wide receivers. That didn't help, but they do have 2 great tailbacks and an all Big 12 fullback who's Matt Clapp in front of one of those 1,000-yard gainers, Chris Brown. And here's Brown behind his fullback.
It's almost unbelievable when you think about what this offense with Sam Bradford running the show last year did. They averaged 548 yards a game, almost 7 yards every time they snapped the football, every offensive play, scored 99 touchdowns. And yet here tonight, 10 possessions, 6 without a first down.
Yeah, they got a big first down there.
Yeah.
Nice job by Brian Logan to stay home, or that would have been Chris Brown to the end zone. As it is, he got it out to the 41-yard line.
One of the luxuries of having 2 backs like Chris Brown and DeMarco Murray, you should never have a tired guy in the backfield. You keep them fresh all the time. You know, you rotate them. Cale Gundy is the running back coach. He rotates them by feel, but they should always be fresh.
Cale Gundy, the running back coach you mentioned. Mike Gundy, his older brother, got a big win today in Stillwater. Oklahoma State starts their season with a win over Georgia. And a lot of people think that they might be the kind of team that could pick off Oklahoma or Texas to win the Big 12. They got off to a good start at Boone Pickens Stadium today. Here's Brown again. Really close to a first down. About 2 feet shy, though. Under 3.5 minutes in the 3rd quarter. Murray in, Brown out. A couple of tight ends coming in on 3rd down and a yard. There's Josh Heupel, the quarterback coach. And there's Cale Gundy right next to him. One of those signals is live. The other one's a dummy play. Oops. BYU, do they fall in the neutral zone? Nope, not yet. Now Oklahoma's set. Big third down. Ball is out.
Now, you know what? They got it back. Here's the only time I don't like what Oklahoma does on offense. When they raise up away from the center and look to the sideline, 3rd and 1, linemen hate that. They want to go up, put their hand on the ground, snap the ball, and fire off the football and get a first down. When you make them wait and hold on and listen to an audible, it is not a good thing on short yardage. It's the only thing, as I've watched Oklahoma's offense on tape and live, that I don't like is when they do that on short yardage situations.
So now it's a different situation. A punting one, that is. Tressway to kick. McKay Jacobson, he's been held in check, or they've kicked away from him effectively tonight. He did drop one that he fielded. This one's going to be a fair catch. And he's going to track it down at about the 11-yard line. So BYU came in here with Max Hall, second team all-conference quarterback from the Mountain West, which is almost unbelievable because he threw 35 touchdown passes last year. But here's a veteran signal caller. They've still got him tied in one piece. Oklahoma doesn't have Sam Bradford in one piece. They got a chance to win, and this could shake up the whole deal in college football in week 1.
Absolutely, and they've got a great chance, but they've got to take care of the football. You know, they can't turn it over and hand something to Oklahoma, because Oklahoma is going to play a little bit conservative, try to muscle the ball into the end zone with their young quarterback. But Max Hall has to be smart with the football. And as you said earlier, punting is not a horrible thing in a game like this.
Manasseh Tonga in the backfield behind Hall. And here he comes, and down he goes. And a loss of a couple. Let's check in with Heather again.
Well, BYU quarterback Max Hall limped off the field after that last series. He got stepped on, tweaked his ankles. The trainers have given him that spat look, the tape over the cleats, obviously back out on the field, but not 100%.
Todd, did you ever go into a first game either at Penn State or in the pros and get banged around in week 1 and go, hey, wait a minute, guys?
Well,
it happened to Sam. I guess it happens to everybody at one time or another.
Absolutely.
Crowd getting louder. 2nd down, 11. Hall in the gun. Looking right all the way. Got hit as he threw, but he completes it out to Jacobson again. A pickup of about 6. And Max took a pretty good shot from Gerald McCoy again. It's going to be an awfully interesting 4th quarter. 3rd-ranked team in the country, leading by only 3. And playing with their number 2 quarterback, who's never taken a snap until tonight in a college football game. Big 3rd down at 5. Final 45 seconds of the 3rd. Dennis Pitta, the tight end, in motion into the slot on the left side where there's 3 receivers for Max Hall. Pressure. It is intercepted. Picked off by Keenan Clayton.
You know, that's what I was kind of afraid of for Max Hall and BYU. I mean, they're right in this game, but they can't afford to turn it over. I don't think the ball was tipped. Maybe it was, but Keenan Clayton was right there. The bottom line, Max Hall threw this ball into a crowd, and he didn't have a lot on the football.
Trying to get it to Pitta, number 32, and he just forced it. Now Oklahoma's got it back with a half minute in the 3rd, and deep in BYU territory at the 27-yard line. DeMarco Murray behind Matt Clapp, and Landry Jones at the call. Murray into the secondary, down to the 13-yard line. And now those 2,000-yard tailbacks know that they've got to carry the load.
They're fresh, they're both physical, and this BYU team on defense may be starting to show a little signs of fatigue.
At the 14, quick snap on 1st down. Murray again at the 10 and down to the 8. 6 more for DeMarco Murray, who got injured on the opening kickoff of the Big 12 championship with a hamstring pull. But before that, he'd already rushed for over 1,000 yards on the season. We've played 3. Sam Bradford says we got to own the 4th quarter without me. Will they? We'll find out. Welcome back to Dick's Sporting Goods Cowboys Classic, presented by Hampton Hotels. Well, the Heisman Trophy winner Sam Bradford told us this week if there's one thing he wanted to be more this year was a leader. He's got a lead injured tonight.
Well, the one thing that I really wanted to get better at, I wanted to take more of a leadership role on this team. I felt like that I had an opportunity this year, coming back, being my third year playing, I have a great opportunity to be a very vocal leader and take control of this team. And I feel like towards the end of last year, I kind of stepped up and I did become more of a leader, but it's something that I wanted to improve on even more coming back this year.
Todd, he wasn't expecting to do it with a sling on his shoulder, but that was the scene at the end of the third quarter.
Well, and that's what Sam Bradford is. I mean, he is the unquestioned leader of this football team, whether he's out there or not. And when he speaks, those guys all listen to him. And right now, his protege, Landry Jones, is going to try to get this offense in the end zone.
Chris Brown, the tailback, behind Matt Clapp. And again, the three tight ends look up to the sideline. The linemen stay stationary. 2nd down and 4 to start the fourth quarter. Oklahoma clinging to a 3-point lead, but trying to add to it here. Chris Brown cuts inside the 5, and it's 1st and goal. The 8th straight run by the Sooners. And while BYU's defense has made them earn every yard, I think I agree with you, partner. They're starting to wear a little bit thin.
And this is playing to the strength of this offensive line.
1st and goal, Brown. This time he's wrapped up again, though. They're not done trying. There's the all-conference defensive end, Jan Jorgensen.
Oklahoma tried to go on a quick count right there, and BYU was ready for it. They were not fooled. They were in their stance. They played the play with good leverage, and they came up with a nice stop.
Rocco Mendenhall, team won 10 games last year, 11 the previous 2 seasons, and they're giving number 3 Oklahoma all they can handle. 2nd down and goal. Broyles and Tennell both split to the top of your screen. But it's Chris Brown again, and Brown goes down again.
Boy, great play by Jordan Pendleton. I mean, he got in there, he made a play in space. Because that looked like Brown, if he could bounce past Pendleton, he would have walked into the end zone.
Pendleton and Clausen, those 2 outside linebackers, have played a remarkable football game tonight. And remember, Matt Bauman, their captain middle linebacker, went out with an injury early in the ball game. Oklahoma's had a terrible time on 3rd down conversions after we bragged about how they did it last year. Here's 3rd and goal. DeMarco Murray flanking Landry Jones in the gun. Jones to the end zone, incomplete, and a flag. Going to have a pass interference on Brian Logan.
Well, it looked like he made a nice play with his left hand, but grabbed with his right hand.
On the defense, number 7. Foul is in the end zone. Ball will be placed at the 2-yard line.
That was
automatic.
so close. He still can't believe it. He thought he made a good play. Let's take another look.
Left hand, good play. Right hand, hard to see from that angle.
You might see it here, though. He was trying to get it out of the way.
That looked like a pretty good play.
I thought so, too. At any rate, 1st and goal, Oklahoma trying to extend their 3-point lead. Play action. Jones throws, and it's broken up at the goal line by Pendleton. Well, they're not pulling any punches with their freshman quarterback, I guess.
That's really great discipline by BYU's defense, because I would have thought with all those running plays, they faked the run on 1st down. I would have thought this would have been wide open, but BYU read it and was not fooled.
2nd and goal. DeMarco Murray up the middle. Did he get there? Not quite. The officials both come in. They're going to spot him at about the 1-foot line, it looks. Romney Fuga, the nose tackle, made the hit. You talk about a big 3rd down. There's the head coach at BYU, hoping for a goal line stand. It'll be Clapp, the fullback. DeMarco Murray, the tailback, in the eye. Oklahoma 3rd and goal at the BYU 1. Jones looks to the sideline to Josh Heupel and company for the call. He'll quarterback keep it. No signal. He's not in.
Again, I don't like 3rd down, 4th down, 1 yard, short yardage, taking all that time at the line of scrimmage. Linemen like to get up, snap the ball, and fire off the football, and this just helps the defense, I think.
Everybody just took a big deep breath in here, about 80,000 of our friends. It's 4th down and about a foot. Chris Brown back in at tailback. 4th and goal. Again, Oklahoma has a look to the sideline. And now even Clapp forgot the snap count.
The play clock's done.
Penalty markers delay a game, Oklahoma. Wow.
Now they got a kick. I know Oklahoma doesn't huddle, but I still think on those short yardage plays, you got to get up, get down, and go.
Celebrating its 5th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds. They put $1.8 million in so far. Right now, Jimmy Stevens would like to put one in right in the middle of the goalposts, but a timeout taken.
BYU took one.
9 penalties assessed against Oklahoma's offensive unit. That last one just killed the opportunity for 7. Oklahoma brings out its field goal unit. And Jimmy Stevens, who hit a 35-yarder earlier tonight, is going to try attack another one on from about 23 yards away. Remember, the penalty down at the 1-yard line forced this 4th and goal that moved the line of scrimmage back to the 6. This still would only give Oklahoma a 6-point lead, and it's a 1-possession game and a lot of time remaining. Stevens from 22, and he tucked it in the left upright. Well, Oklahoma had 3 drives that started on a short field, and they came away with only 10 points, a touchdown and that field goal right there. Bob Stoops says we'll take what we can get right now against BYU.
Well, and for Max Hall, he's got an opportunity to do something great with his football team and for his football team. I mentioned last year in their big games, he did not play well. In losses to TCU and Utah, he only completed 52% of his passes. He threw 7 interceptions. He fumbled it 3 times and no touchdowns. He's had a couple turnovers tonight, but he still has his team in a position to pull off a huge upset here on the opening weekend.
Let's take a look right now at the Sears Drive recap with 11:47 remaining in the ball game. Landry Jones, the overthrow, but the pass interference. Then he had one knocked down. Tried a quarterback sneak, got it down to about the 2-foot line, but then a penalty moved it back. They had to settle for Stevens' field goal, a 22-yard drive and 8 plays and a 22-yard field goal. 13-7 Oklahoma. Great kickoff. Stephen Thomas bringing it out of the end zone and out to about the 22-yard line. Well, we came in with a Heisman Trophy winner looking to try to somehow repeat what he did a year ago. It'd be almost impossible, throwing 50 touchdown passes last year, but there was his first one of the season. But this is the second quarter when the pressure started coming, and that's the hit by Colby Clausen. And the sprained shoulder suffered by Sam Bradford, and that put him out for the night. He's on the sideline. He rallied his team around him at the end of the 3rd quarter. Trying to be a leader without being on the field. We'll see if that pays off. The defense now trying to dig in because all BYU needs is a touchdown to lead. Hall scans the field, comes short across the middle, only got about a 2-yard gain to Tonga. And we're down to 11.5 minutes.
Well, the corners for Oklahoma have really played well tonight. Ryan Jackson and Dominique Franks, they were new starters last year, and they had veteran safeties. Well, now they're the veterans, and the safeties are new, but the outside receivers for BYU have had virtually nothing open for them tonight.
Hall again throws short over the middle, almost the same exact results. And it's Travis Lewis, the linebacker, who's had a whale of a game, even though he got dinged up a little bit earlier. Yeah, they had those safeties last year. They had Nick Harris and Lindy Holmes. Now they got Sam Proctor and Clinton Carter, but they played pretty well tonight.
Yep, they have.
Well, here's the biggest third down of the night so far. Four wide outs for Hall on 3rd down and 6. The throw's complete, and it is a first down to Pitta, the tight end.
And the reason that first down was so huge for BYU, even if they don't score on this possession, they got to let their defense rest a little bit. They got to try to get some field position, and they got to let that defense rest. Good protection for Hall. Pitta knows what he needs for the first down and secures the catch right past the marker.
Now you look behind Max with Correa, who's been quite a running back tonight, flanking him. This time he's looking right and in trouble, and down he goes. 4th sack of the night. This time it's Austin English. Let's go to Reese Davis now for a Sports Center right now. Reese.
Out. Former Georgia star John Isner knocking him out, meaning it wasn't totally a bad day for the Dogs. So the 5th seed is gone in the 3rd round of the U.S. Open. And Texas is cruising against Louisiana Monroe. Colt McCoy nearing 300 yards passing, 45-10 lead there.
Now Colt having a good night, but his good buddy Sam Bradford's on the sideline in a sling. The 2 top Heisman vote getters last year. 2 years ago, Tim Tebow won it. Last year, he was 3rd. That guy was 1st. Colt McCoy was 2nd. Josh Heupel, who won a national championship for Oklahoma, is the quarterback coach, talking to both those guys. Another 3rd down. And this time they need it all. 3rd and 10. Hall's going to try to roll away from the pressure. Throwing on the run, and what a shot. Down inside the 50 to Pitta again.
Well, I think that could have been a late hit on Max Hall. Also, they didn't call the foul on Frank Alexander, but it was a beautiful throw on the run. This was a design moving the quarterback out of the pocket. He didn't scramble on his own, and Pitta runs the out cut and a perfect throw under duress by Max Hall.
You see that route run by Pitta, coming off the line first and then just planning and knowing the ball was going to be there, and it was a perfect throw. 1st and 10, nearing 8.5 minutes. BYU on the drive. Oklahoma by 6, clinging to a number 3 national ranking right now. They're just clinging, trying to hope to win. Hall pump fakes one way, comes back trying to throw a slip screen to Jacobson, and they blew that up. As we check in on the sideline with Heather, and Max Hall getting up slow again. Heather.
Well, guys, Todd was just talking about how BYU did not play well in the big games last year. What a difference a year makes. Coach Mendenhall takes all the responsibility for his team's poor performance, telling me teams play as they're coached. If our quarterback doesn't play well, then we have failed to prepare him. He said last year, I didn't prepare our team on how to come from behind because we hadn't been in that situation. We have worked on it throughout the offseason, and he's assured me they are now ready for situations just like this one.
They're only 6 behind. 8th play of their drive on a 2nd and 10. Hall again splits it down the middle to Pitta, and all of a sudden the All-American tight ends become the number 1 man.
See, they have nothing available on the outside. The wide receivers are not getting open against Oklahoma, but there are spaces and creases in this defense inside, and guys like Pitta and Andrew George, the other tight end, are finding some holes in that defense.
Now an eye backfield as Hall comes up under center as they moved it to the Oklahoma 35-yard line. They'll go back to the ground game. Correa trying to get the corner. No way. Lost about 3. Gerald McCoy. Talk about fast and a penetrator on top of it.
Well, he's disruptive. I mean, he changes the line of scrimmage because of his quickness and his anticipation. And then you see just his down the line speed, chasing down the tailback.
300-pound guys aren't supposed to move that fast.
No. They didn't when I played.
Thank goodness for you.
Wow.
Second down, 13. Andrew George, the other tight end, moves into a slot on the right side as Hall goes left. DeLuigi. He's horse-collared out of bounds by Travis Lewis again. 7 minutes remaining.
Very methodical drive right now for BYU, and the good thing, even if they don't get a go-ahead touchdown on this drive, they've at least changed the field position. Starting in the second half, their average starting field position was their own 15-yard line, and they turned the ball over in their own territory 3 times in the game tonight. So at least they're in a different part of the field right now.
On this drive, they've converted a 3rd and 6 and a 3rd and 10. We'll split it down the middle. This is 3rd and 8. Pitt has been the man so far for Max Hall on this drive. Draw play. DeLuigi got away from a couple. Still on his feet, but he's going to be short of the first down. Got to the 29. And now they've got to think about a 4th down and a long 3, maybe 4. And they line up immediately. They're not waiting for anything. And they snap it on 4th down, and they've got it. Pitta.
You know what that was? That's like a 2-point play that they knew what they would run on a 2-point conversion play. They lined up quickly, and they snapped the football, and they caught the Oklahoma defense still trying to get lined up and ready. Right in between the 2 linebackers, Ryan Reynolds and Keenan Clayton. Pitta slipped right in there because Reynolds or Clayton, neither one was set to run the defense.
Now it's 1st and goal, BYU.
So you can't do that with a redshirt freshman quarterback.
No.
But with a 3rd-year starting senior, you sure can. That was beautiful.
Quentin Carter banged up. He's coming off, limping off from that safety position. And you can see the excitement. Manasseh Tonga's going, let's go, let's snap this thing.
Boy, how often do you see a team on 4th down have to call a timeout, try to decide what play they want? They lined right up, went on a quick count, knew exactly what they wanted to do, and got the 1st down and more.
At the 7-yard line, 1st and goal, Cougars try to take the lead from the 3rd-ranked Sooners of Oklahoma. Pitta in motion. 2nd man through is Correa. Maybe got to the 6. It's about it. 5.5 minutes. The Heisman Trophy winner and All-American can only look on and look up at the scoreboard. His team clings to a 6-point lead, and there's nothing Sam Bradford can do about it. He's hoping Gerald McCoy and company can.
BYU's only other score, their only touchdown in the game, came on a 2nd down and goal play. It was a play-action pass. This looks like a pass all the way with this formation.
2 of their tight ends to the left side. Play action. Hall fires high and incomplete, intended for Andrew George, but a flag comes in. Dominique Franks tangled up with Andrew George, a big 6'5", 250-pound tight end.
Pass interference on a defense, number 1. Foul was in the end zone. Ball be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic 1st down.
Franks is a physical corner at 6 foot 192, but a much bigger target in Andrew George. You saw the push in the back before the ball got there. That was a good call.
He still almost caught that thing.
Yep, Andrew George 6'5", 250. The ball was thrown high, which is a good decision by Max Hall, and Dominique Franks was out of position to make a play on the ball.
Correa behind Tonga and Max Hall. 1st and goal. BYU at the Oklahoma 2-yard line. It's Correa on the stretch play. Not going to get there, but he got awfully close. Picked up about a yard. Gerald McCoy, I don't know how many tackles he's made just on this drive. And there is a hush of silence because even though there's a lot of BYU fans in blue and white, this is mostly a crimson and cream crowd of 75,100 A 75,437. Second down and goal, BYU. 7.5 minutes they've had the football. Correa, no. Wow, was he met in the hole. Guess who?
Yeah, they're the heart and soul of the defense. Gerald McCoy and Ryan Reynolds, the middle linebacker, were there together to make the stop. Watch these two, 93 and 4, right there together, right at the goal line.
You got to think, Todd, that was your play action down. Now it's third down, and they actually lost a little bit. Third and goal at the 2-yard line. BYU try to take the lead. We approach 3.5 minutes remaining in the ball game.
That's Pitta out wide here, the tight end.
Now he's going to come in motion. Third and goal, whistles, and penalty markers all over the place. Wow. Well, that just took away the run.
Yeah, that's pretty uncharacteristic for Max Hall. I mean, we saw his counterpart Landry Jones do it down in the Oklahoma attempt to score, but you wouldn't expect Max Hall to do that. Lose track of the play clock and not get the snap off.
This is maybe a blessing in disguise. Instead of trying to power football, you know now at the 7-yard line and the 16th play of the drive with your senior quarterback trying to get it in the end zone. You'll know in a second if he does. Hall to the end zone. Touchdown! A wide open McKay Jacobson for the score.
Well, Max Hall did a beautiful job of buying himself a little more time by moving slightly out of the pocket. He didn't scramble. He didn't look to run. He just got himself a little clearance and a better throwing angle.
The all-important extra point by Mitch Payne is good. One quarterback can do nothing about it. The other one can. Max Hall to the back of the end zone. BYU leads Oklahoma with 3 minutes and change remaining.
Dick's Sporting Goods Cowboys Classic, brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. And in part by Popeyes. Welcome to Louisiana Fast.
A shocker, a possibility here in Arlington, Texas. It's 14-13. Sam Bradford threw a touchdown pass in the first quarter, but then was injured late in the second quarter. Oklahoma's only been able to add a couple of field goals and a 78-yard march in 16 plays, engineered by Max Hall. And here's the touchdown.
Well, McKay Jacobson gets the touchdown, but right there, Dennis Pitta is the guy that the entire Oklahoma defense is going to key on. Watch when Pitta crosses the goal line. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders all are focused on Pitta, and Jacobson is going to sneak in behind all of them for the throw from Max Hall. Dennis Pitta, the go-to guy, was a decoy on that play, and Max Hall picked him apart.
What a drive.
Max Hall was 9 of 10 on that 16-play drive.
8 minutes and 44 seconds, and they had the lead with 3 minutes and 3 seconds remaining. How big now is it that Oklahoma wasn't able to convert a short field so many times into just one touchdown and one field goal? This one goes out of bounds. That's about the last thing you want to do as a kicker.
That's a mistake. That is a mistake for BYU.
This is great field position now. The problem is you don't have Sam Bradford at quarterback, and I'm not taking anything away from Landry Jones. It would be a good one somewhere down the line, but if you're an Oklahoma fan, you're going, if we had Sam Bradford, I like our 3 minutes and 3 seconds. I'm not sure if I like it right now when he's not wearing a helmet and pads. Dick's Sporting Goods Cowboys Classic presented by Hampton Hotels, part of kickoff week
What a way to kick it off. Jermaine Gresham, All-American tight end in the gray T-shirt on the left. Sam Bradford, the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, with his arm in a sling on the right. Gresham injured a knee this week. They don't know how long he'll be out. Sam Bradford, a shoulder injury late in the second quarter. They don't know how long he'll be out. But for Oklahoma fans, now they find the backup quarterback Landry Jones running the show, number 12, and he'll start from the 40-yard line.
And for Landry Jones, you know, as a quarterback, you grow up dreaming of being in situations like this, trying to bring your team from behind to run a 2-minute offense, even though this isn't in essence that. They've got 3 minutes and 3 seconds left. They've got all 3 of their timeouts, and realistically they need to gain 35 yards. They start on the 40. If they get to the 25, that gives their kicker Jimmy Stevens a chance to equal his career best. So that's the situation right now for Landry Jones.
We'll keep our eye on that far 25-yard line left of your screen. That's the point they've got to get to. They just need a field goal to win. And a one-hopper to a wide-open Adron Tennell, and that shows the butterflies, I'm sure, that are going through that young man's stomach right now.
I thought it was interesting when we talked to Bronco Mendenhall this week. I mean, they were not afraid of this game, and his vision for this program at BYU is very clear. He says, we want to get back to being one of the nation's elite, not just being nationally respected. Well, if they win this thing and pull this off, even with Sam Bradford injured, they take a major step forward.
Here comes a blitz on Jones, and he rifles one. Incomplete. Diving attempt by Brandon Caleb. And 2:55 remaining.
The other thing that BYU has felt and accepted and embraced coming into this game is that they kind of carry the banner for the Mountain West Conference as well. There's 3 teams ranked in the top 25, BYU, Utah, and TCU, but a very high-profile interconference game tonight for BYU.
A huge third down for Jones. 3rd and 10. Fires sideline and got his man. It's a first down to Brandon Caleb. And a pickup of 12 when they absolutely had to have it.
And again, you see the strength of his arm, that deep out, one of the toughest throws to make. Right on target with it.
Now they can go back to the run if they choose to do so, though they stay in the shotgun. It's DeMarco Murray that flanks him in the gun. He's going to flare it out to Murray. Lost his footing a little bit on the sideline and picked up about 3 yards. Brandon Bradley knocked him out of bounds. 2:33 left.
Again, no sense of panic for Landry Jones. There's 2.5 minutes left. They've got all 3 timeouts. And they already run a no huddle. That's their normal offense. So it's not like they're doing anything out of character for him right now. And the key is take care of the football. Don't give up a sack, and don't try to force it if it's not there.
2nd down and 7. Again, he looks to the sideline to the call. And he's going, okay, I hope I have it. 5 seconds on the play clock. They get it away. He rolls to his left, throws back across his body and got it. To Rattery, the tight end. Well, there's 2 big throws from the young guy.
Yep.
Under 2 minutes.
Showing a lot of poise right now, running this offense. A designed roll of the pocket, moving the quarterback to a different launching position, and he does a nice job of getting it to his tight end.
Now he comes up under center. Let's see if they run it on 1st down. They will. Tripped up, though. Nice job by Jordan Pendleton. Boise had a nice game. Number 1, the outside linebacker who got a hand on the shoe of DeMarco Murray to trip him up. 1:38. And Oklahoma with a timeout. We'll take a break. Catch your breath. We got 1:38 to play, and number 3 Oklahoma's in some trouble in Arlington, Texas. Dick's Sporting Goods Cowboys Classic presented by Hampton Hotels. I'm not sure it's been a classic the way people thought, but I think we have a classic ending coming up. 1:38 remaining. Jimmy Stevens' career long. The line of scrimmage would be where the red line is. 1st down markers at the 23. Landry Jones throws high, but caught.
Incomplete.
Nope, incomplete at the 30-yard line. Adron Tennell.
Well-timed hit by Brian Logan. He was there right as the ball got there, and Tennell was not able to bring the ball into his body after the catch. Had it in his hands, but was hit by Logan almost immediately.
Remember, the BYU kickoff went out of bounds, so Oklahoma started this drive at their own 40 with 3:03 left to play. Now it's the 8th play of the drive with 94 seconds remaining in the ball game. 3rd down and 9.
Now they can get to Stevens' mark without getting a first down here. Landry Jones just needs to get a completion here. First down would be great, but not necessary.
And flags fly again. It has been a flag-happy game tonight.
Prior to snap, ball start on the offense. Number 70, 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Now they really do need a big chunk of yardage.
We have seen 2 very costly penalties on this drive. The kickoff out of bounds by BYU was huge, and now this one with a redshirt freshman quarterback. You go from 3rd and 6 to
3rd and 14. It's a 12th penalty against Oklahoma, 10 on their offense. Now they need a big chunk of yardage even to give Jimmy Stevens a chance. I'm not saying he can't hit from there, but I wouldn't want to put my money on it.
Here comes the blitz. Jones in trouble, trying to scramble out of it. Throws on the run, and it's incomplete. And now it's 4th down.
Well, good call by the BYU defense. Go after the young quarterback. Bring pressure. He tried to step up in the pocket, and he kept his eyes downfield, what you want a quarterback to do. Just couldn't make the accurate throw.
I'm looking at Bob Stoops on the sideline. I'm looking at the wide receivers, Broyles and Tennell. And they got to talk this thing over. It's 4th down and a mile. 1 timeout left for Oklahoma. Last time BYU won against a top 10 team was way back almost 20 years ago. In a non-conference game, they beat Miami 28-21. Well, they're celebrating the 25th anniversary of their national championship team. We saw a little bit of highlights of Robbie Bosco. This would be an unbelievable way to start their season. They've got Florida State coming up this month. For Oklahoma, let's be honest. Let's put this thing in perspective right now. If they don't pick up this 4th down or hit a long field goal and they lose this game, they would have to run the table to have a chance to be in the BCS national championship. This is not a conference game, so they could still win the Big 12 and maybe be there. They're going to try a field goal of 54 yards.
Going with a different kicker, going with their longer kicker.
And that's Tress Way, who's been punting tonight.
Yeah,
so now timeout taken by BYU.
I think this is what they have to do. They got to try to kick this. I don't think you want to put this on your redshirt freshman quarterback to convert a 4th and 14 against a BYU defense that has played extremely well. Now, Tress Way is a young guy too, but I think your chances are a little better of him hitting the field goal than of Landry Jones hitting a 3rd down and long.
Let's take you back to Union High School in Tulsa. The longest field goal Tress Way ever hit in high school was 47 yards. This is going to be 7 yards farther, but they're going to give him a crack. And he could run for mayor in Norman if he hits this thing.
They are indoors. The conditions are perfect.
Redshirted last year. Carter Whitson will hold. Tress Way trying to find the right way from way out. Kick on the way, pushed it, and it's short. BYU takes over. He got a lot of leg into it. But it was that short and that wide. And Max Hall's reaction. I think he just said, oh my gosh, or whatever they say in Provo.
Well, Oklahoma only has one timeout. They can only stop the clock once.
Josh Heupel thought it was good. Sam Bradford was hoping it was. And the fans are in shock.
We mentioned the last time that they beat a team this highly ranked, 1990.
BYU takes a timeout. And they are out of timeouts. But they've got the lead. That's all that matters to them right now.
We mentioned that Miami game. I mean, but consider this too about BYU and how huge this is. They have lost their last 12 consecutive games to ranked non-conference opponents. So, I mean, this is a huge win. Bronco Mendenhall 1-6 in his time at BYU against ranked opponents. So this is a huge game for their program.
They're going to be at Tulane next week, Todd, and then they play Florida State on the 19th. And don't you think that Bobby Bowden is watching this thing going,
boy,
dadgum, I didn't know they were this good.
And Provo is not an easy place to play.
No.
Or get to.
Everybody in tight as Max Hall will take a knee after he backpedals a few yards. And now Oklahoma can only stop it once.
Wow.
A shocker at the new Cowboy Stadium.
Max Hall, a nephew of Danny White, who was a fine quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Didn't play in this stadium, but played in this city. And Max Hall with a chance to put the cap on a huge, huge win for him and for his team.
Sam Bradford, just the blank stare. We don't know how long he'll be out. Hopefully he'll be back in a hurry as Idaho State comes into Norman next week. But it looks like they're coming in against an 0-1 team that will drop out of probably the top 15. I don't know. Hall again takes a knee. We go down. We'll be under a minute. The last drive was something to behold. Max Hall, when he had to have big plays, came up with it to his tight end Pitta. They went 78 yards in 16 plays. Pitta did a lot of the damage. They used almost 9 minutes off the clock, and then the big one to the back of the end zone.
He was 9 of 10 on the drive, and the two biggest ones, the touchdown obviously, and when they lined up on that 4th and short, didn't have any hesitation, knew exactly what they wanted to run, and got the first down to keep the drive alive. Was very, very special.
We mentioned earlier that there's been precedent for something like this to happen. 4 years ago, TCU picked off Oklahoma in the first game of the season, and now BYU has done the same. The Cougars upset the 3rd-ranked team in the country behind their senior quarterback. Final score, BYU 14, Oklahoma 13. The first huge shocker of the college football season. The hero of the night, Max Hall. Let's go down to Heather Cox.
Brad, thank you. Bronco, congratulations.